And that's it for primer stuff. Where we left off, of course, you guys are inside the Crow Fort at the War Room with Ozzy and Commander Pepperjack. I think I basically kind of put a moment in here, hopefully, where you guys can kind of help Sako / Nazim understand the setting and what's going on and everything. We can handle it in narrative, but if if you guys forget things or whatever, I don't care if we dip in and out of in character or out of character stuff. So, in the meantime, then, let's go ahead and do some levels here. Fox, you're going to leave the Snake Bolt Quiver off? Okay. You're still going to carry it, you're just not going to tune it?
Yeah, I'm gonna tune it after I give back the Wood Sage's Course, even though I don't want to give it back.
Okay. Then, in that case, let's go ahead and get started here. Becky, do you already know what it is you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just going to take a wizard level.
All right. Then let me update that for you, and you're gonna take the one that you had asked me about.
Yeah,
okay.
The chrono whatever it's called.
You sound awful again, Becky.
Yeah, sorry.
You're still audible. I can still hear you and everything. Just you don't sound good.
I was hoping it fixed, but I can switch back to my old headset again.
I mean, I can hear you okay. I'll leave it up to everybody else. I have you maxed out, and you're like loud enough that I can hear you. It just sounds kind of tinny.
We can try it. I mean, maybe these will cut out less.
Well, the cutting out is network. I don't think it's not going to be. Yeah, it's not hardware or processing for that matter. All right. Okay, Becky. Let me look at that choice she's made there. Becky. Oh.
Blah, blah, blah. That was fun right there.
Shit.
I'll be right back.
All right, Fox.
Fuck is Discord. Damn it. Come on. Fucking kidding me.
I don't know if she actually knows we can hear her cursing at it.
This is pretty funny.
I can hear her feeding back, so she's hearing us still. All right, chronal shift. There you go. There you go. Yep, now you sound good. That's a shame that those headphones aren't working for you.
Yeah.
What kind are they?
It says Bangu on them.
Know them.
No, it.
I think that's like a whole website. Like they just sell all sorts of tech stuff.
Mm.
I think I got is it Banggood? Is it end with a G?
No, it's Bengoo.
Bengu.
Like Bengu.
Bengu. So Ben's goo. She's got
gross.
Ben's goo on her fucking head.
On her headset. Ben just got bored one day, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Chronergy. That's a pretty cool ability there.
Yeah, I can't wait to use it.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I think I'm gonna have the coolest new thing. I'm pretty stoked, but I'm gonna keep it a surprise.
The way you texted that, I was like, yeah, he thinks this is gonna be this badass reveal. So I'm looking forward to what you're.
I'm pretty stoked.
I put everything in there for you already. So.
Cool,
all right.
cool.
The ability for that, Becky, I'm gonna have to. I'll have to copy it over, so you'll have those in the meantime, anyways. We're basically, just so you guys are aware. Fox, is Fox you back? Okay, I'll tell Fox when she gets back too. But you guys already. Okay, all right. So you guys already got this stuff with the long rest at Omalnalori, so you already have everything. You don't need to, wait till you rest or anything like that. So for Becky, you'll have those two things that you get at level 2 there, or for level 2 wizard, anyways. You'll have those now.
Okay.
I'll need to. Let's see. Can I manually adjust? Yeah, I'll put that in afterwards. So you have those now. Becky, go ahead and roll a D6, I believe it is for you. Yep, D6 plus your con mod. Unless you want to take the average, up to you. Well, we re-roll ones anyways. Go ahead.
Seriously?
Go ahead.
Well,
Break out
keep
the dice
rolling
jail.
them?
Well, we don't take one just on the HP rolls. That's it. All right, so 6 plus 2. That's a little bit better roll there. Plus, really, she's I think probably double the number of times gone unconscious than anybody else in the party.
That is true. She's gone unconscious a lot.
Me too. It's between both of us.
Yeah, you guys are both real bad, but I think yours might be. It's probably a close, maybe like 60 to 70%.
Yeah.
Sarah's was the first one, and has happened pretty frequently since then. Despite having like a good amount of hit points and everything, she still just gets fucking destroyed.
That's why I started staying in the back of the group, so I went.
Yeah. The first one I remember, Becky, was the first one in Embers. I think was when you were trying to fly over the big guy at the docks. Remember at Cadogan, and you got blown off of it. Remember? And then hit the ground
Yeah.
Yeah, but
right after Justin joined.
I got
We
fainted.
were both part of that.
Yeah, I fainted before that. I think I was the first one to faint the entire thing because I was like right in the middle of the fight.
Was it just was it with the soldiers in the Altar Rod when you guys were being kicked out of Al-Qadir?
I think so, yeah. No, it was a bit past that, I think, but yeah.
Oh shit! Actually, okay. So I remember
that was the first time I dropped.
Yeah, that was the first time you got knocked out because you were trying to run across the bridge and got smacked by the guy with the club, the big Mortrollus brute. Yeah, I remember that. All right. So Becky, yours is good. You're at 68 now for your new max. Who wants to go next?
Ooh, I'll go.
All right, what do you got?
No, shouldn't it be more than that?
D8. Big money, big money.
It
No
was
whammies. Yeah! Plus
So it should be
con.
67. Plus I have tough, which adds 2.
Oh, okay. I didn't have the tough one.
My con is +1, so it's going to be 9. Would you like me to adjust it, or you want to do it?
Go ahead.
Okay,
All right,
so
Becky,
67
that makes yours
9.
70 then. With the tough, because you rolled you had 61, so 6 plus the
75.
1 from your con makes 7 for a total of
Wait, that's
68. Plus 2 for tough brings you to 70.
Yeah.
All right, that's a lot for
Yeah.
a little halfling.
Yeah, we got 76 now. We're both
76
rocking it
for
for halflings.
Nice. All right.
We both
and
maxed our roll.
Was there anything else bard-wise? I didn't look at the bard table, Justin. What else did you...
So expertise gives me the double on 2 more proficient things. So I was just going to do acrobatics and stealth.
Whoops, ignore that roll.
Sure. So acrobatics and stealth, which will be doubled. And then I get my 2 spells, and then my bardic inspiration jumps to a D10.
Okay.
So people can have an extra D10 on any roll, which is pretty rad. And I can now use it 5 times, but I think I was already at 5 times. I might get an extra one, actually. I'll double check.
Details, bring up to 10 for bard. Now you'll have your 10 hit dice as well.
So many hit dice. Fuck.
Level
Does
10.
everyone have 10 hit dice? That we all
it
just goes
it's
up 1 per level?
Yeah, it's always 1 per level.
Okay. All right.
All right.
And then, of
I'll
course,
get
I
the
have.
spells
Did you? I can change my little character under features unless you already got it. Oh,
I
you already got
did
it.
that. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just grabbing your spells
And
now.
then trying to figure out.
Yoji.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't change the number of times because that's equal to my charisma modifier. So my bardic inspiration is already maxed at 5.
Cool. All right, and okay, so I have one of the 2. The thing that I didn't add is the actual spell itself, Justin. So you have it already. I'll just add it for you afterwards. Let me make it.
Well, I can't use it until I won't use it for a minute until we figure out where we're going.
Well, what I'm saying is you guys already have these anyways, so meaning you could cast it now. Essentially, you would have got this morning. When you guys woke up and almost
Got it.
Did you say something?
I just have you guys on my phone right now. I'll be on the computer in just a second. I just got home. I just want to be able to hear you guys. So
Okay. All right.
I'm just going to mute myself so I'm not loud.
No problem. We're just doing level right now, anyways.
Cool.
All right, Justin. So you've got your hit points. I put one of the spells on. I'll put the other one on for you as soon as I copy that over.
Nice.
And I did your expertise already, so that's it for you, right? Nothing else?
Yep. Did you notice, by the way, not concentration spells because I have 300 of those.
I didn't look at those, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Also,
like
right now, you still have like 5 days of concentration penalty to deal with. So.
Oh yeah. Still got a little fairy ginger snapper, whatever the fuck her name is.
Yep. All right. What about
I wanted to change out that 4th level spell.
Oh, that's right. Let me do that now.
This is the first time that I didn't want to change out any spells. I looked at my spells and I'm like, nope, I like them. I like where I'm at. Pretty happy.
You had a lot of kind of tinkering early on, though, because you started with so many that it took you a while to kind of find the ones you wanted. It was Vitriolic Sphere, right, Becky? That you're dropping?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you still want the other one, right? Well, that was the one she's dropping, but you still wanted the other one that you'd asked for, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, we're both keeping it a secret. I like it.
I figure, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you guys don't care, you can just say it. Doesn't really matter to me.
No.
But,
I want to reveal for mine.
But, it's not up to me to reveal what it is that your, character acquires as they're growing. So, all right. Let's see. Fox, you want to go?
Sure.
All right. For yours, I think you're a D8. Let me double check here real quick. Under hit points. Yeah, D8. So roll a D8. And your con modifier is +2. All right, so 5 more, bringing you to 72 is your new max.
Yay. At least it wasn't a horrible roll.
No, I mean, it wasn't a 1 or a 2. It was basically, still below average, but not, not as bad as it could have been anyway. And of course, not bad enough to actually be able to re-roll it.
Yep.
All right. Isn't yours a Circle of Land thing? It's the immunity to disease and poison, I think.
Yes. Yep.
What else was it?
I get another level 5 spell, I believe.
Yeah, you get another spell slot. I'll look at the table here real quick so to make sure I don't forget anything. I think you also can't be charmed, if I remember right.
Or something.
Bro, 2 5th level spells. We're gonna fight God.
Well, you're only at level 10, so if you're going to try that now, things might not go
Yeah, no. I'm not, no, just no.
I can animate all kinds of objects.
Ben and Becky and Sako fought an Ascended at the end of the last campaign, and they still, honestly, they fucking whooped him. It was really not nearly as hard as it should have been. But
I feel like that's going to be really hard as a DM to come up with, because it would suck a lot if your whole party literally just TPK'd on the last thing they played, and it's what a terrible ending. You got to be careful because you really want to make it hard, so there's a chance they'll die, but that's the one time you're
balance is always. I'm using balance with a lowercase b, not the campaign name. Balance with a lowercase b is always tricky, but it's really easy to go either direction. So you have it's tough finding kind of that fine line. And the thing is it doesn't even really matter is the part that's what's most important, because the goal of the game, of course, is just to have fun, right? So if the balance is within lines of having fun, then you're good. Then the numbers don't really matter so much. You still want to make it challenging enough that your party is enjoying the challenge but still feeling rewarded. But you still have Ben, for example, who doesn't want a challenge, wants everything to be a cakewalk, so that he can just smash everything, and then other players in the party who might actually want, a more difficult thing. So it's really it's more about perception than it is about the actual, numbers themselves. I need ham. Sako's putting memes in the Embers chat about fighting God. All right, Fox, yours is you can't be charmed or frightened. It says by elementals or fae, but I think that it's intended with your already elven abilities. I think that makes pretty much at least the majority of the archetypes that you can't be charmed by now, and you're immune to poison and disease, and then obviously your added 5th level slot. Mm-hmm. You already had 5th level spells, didn't you?
Yeah, I already have them. I'm just trying to
put them on your sheet. Oh,
no, they're there.
Okay.
I just can't. Oh yeah, they're there.
If anyone's curious, I am very stealthy. I am very, very stealthy.
And all of a sudden, bad French too.
Very stealthy. I'm trying to remember the what he says in Mr. Deeds, his little chauffeur guy. It's whoa, how'd you do that? He's I am very sneaky. That's what it is. I am very sneaky.
But that's Turturro, isn't it? No, that's not Turturro.
I don't know his name.
Who is that guy?
I do not remember. He's in a lot of his movies.
Yeah, he's in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou too, though. Yeah, that's him. Yep. All right. Sako's on top of fucking Googling the guy for the meme that fast.
That is me, by the
Say
way.
that I'm googling it, but really, it's just a sad life.
Yeah, he just
Right,
has
go.
it.
It's just a folder. He's got
It's
saved.
in his Mr. Deeds folder.
Okay, to be fair,
So not
Monk also
screenshot
has.
right now.
To be fair, Monk also has like a meme folder, so it's what people do. Okay, I just have a folder full of fox pictures or cute pictures, and Monk just has meme pictures. So it just depends.
Honestly, I'm not sure which one is more sad.
I'm very sneaky. If anyone's curious for the game, if anyone needs anything,
His
if anyone needs
modifier's
something
a-
stolen and shit,
Modifier's a plus 12 now, so he can't roll below a 13.
So next time we have a recon mission, we're sending Pogo.
dude,
Well,
I am.
you gotta remember
so
he's
fucking
also-
ready now.
Yeah, but remember he's also a coward, so like you gotta go with that portion of it too.
Damn it! It looks like I'm still doing the recon missions.
Yeah, I'll feel a lot more confident than I did before. That's for sure.
Yeah, if somebody goes with him and holds his hand, then he won't be so bad.
Okay, well I'll just have to practice my sneaking. So that's another thing I'm gonna do.
All right, for Sako, let's roll yours. Yours is a D8,
D8. All right.
and your
Grab
con
that real quick.
modifier is plus 2.
You know what's funny? I feel like stealth is one of those ones where, as a DM, you'd have to get really interesting on how you decided you wanted to practice sneaking for me to like give anyone that upgrade in the future.
I mean, really, the idea would be, training. Somebody else would be showing you. Not, I
Exactly.
mean, so look at Game of Thrones.
I'm
for
going
example,
to go
they
hide
did,
behind more trees. I'm going to hide behind trees on my downtime.
well, so I mean, you would do it naturally. You would do it in a hunting environment, really. So, like even with Game of Thrones, when Arya was training by following the cats around, trying to catch cats in the city. Remember, that's how you would essentially do it, is by trying to catch an animal who is, potentially
Seems more
aware
like
that
a
you're there.
dexterity. Well, okay. Yeah.
It is dexterity. That's
It's partially
that's
just
dex-based.
well, it's partially dexterity, but it's also like just moving silently and being able to like. Well, since I already know how to hunt, it wouldn't be too hard to like try and capture an animal instead of
I feel
killing
like
it.
in real life, one of the hardest skills on this list to learn would be stealth. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
Like-
true.
Like,
I don't know, dude. I mean, people
like-
literally train in stealth
So
all the time.
acrobatics?
That's what military is. Like
Yeah,
any,
but,
any
like,
military training
come
is
on,
studying
like
stealth.
comparatively, like acrobatics, give me 3 weeks and I can do a front flip. Like animal handling, you can. No, I'm serious. This is like a real life thing. Like I taught myself how to do a front flip.
Dedication. You can't be 400 pounds and sneakily walk around.
Yeah, so like
true,
animal
yeah.
handling, you can, especially with normal animals, you can practice with those physically there. Arcana, you could read a lot about. Athletics, you can literally work out. Deception would be a hard one, I think, as well. To
Yeah, I
actually,
think the
like,
social
learn.
skills. The social skills would be the hardest for sure.
Yeah.
Deception,
And
In-
medicine.
I
I,
think
mean,
investigation.
medicine's 8 years of medical
Medicine
school.
would be book wise. Yeah, book wise, but it would take a long time.
Yeah.
But things like I think.
Oh,
I
okay.
feel
You're
like
not talking
stealth
time
would be
as
one
much
of the
as
harder ones.
difficulty.
Yeah, I'm talking time and difficulty. I feel like stealth would be. I'm trying to think like right now in my life. All right, Justin, how can I get better at stealth? And I'm coming up pretty blank.
Well, step one is buy ninja stars from Amazon.
Got 'em.
And a black hood. and a cheap katana that the first thing you whack with it's going to break in half.
Local D&D player shot and killed at local park.
Shocks his balls until he dies by accidentally leaving his stun gun in his pocket. Oh man.
We lose more people liberating Quiznos than anything else.
Yeah,
And liberating Quiznos of their ham.
I've reread. So I've reread that story about the guy who tased himself in the nuts and then died so many times with different like verbiage, and it makes me laugh every single like it's not sad in the least bit to me. It really isn't. I was like,
No, of course
nah,
not.
this is good
Didn't
shit.
somebody get trampled while they were carrying a "Don't Tread on Me" flag?
Yep.
Was that one of the
That's
five?
brilliant.
A large overweight middle-aged
That's
woman who was running with the
brilliant.
crowd.
Oh, is that the
It's-
woman that died? No, because there was a woman that was
Yeah,
shot by
it's-
police, right?
Yeah, that
she
was
did
remember.
tours. Yeah, she was
Now
in the
they're saying
military.
she was. Now they're saying she's an Antifa spy. Like she wasn't actually one of the. They're saying that most of the people that were there were actually Antifa spies.
Except that the tons and tons of them have already been identified because they put up
Oh,
their own
yeah.
fucking pictures. on
No,
their own
they're
social
saying
media.
it's a false flag.
Yeah.
They're saying
That's
Trump
also-
supporters are now saying that it's an Antifa operation made to make Trump supporters look bad.
So. Do you guys
It's
know who
the long con.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're trying to claim. Yeah, Sako.
Yeah.
But you guys know who Kevin Sorbo is, right?
Yeah, really bummed that he's like a super crazy. Like,
But
seems like he's out there with the right wing conspiracy stuff.
So he and Matt Mercer, which I mean, the majority of you guys know who Matt Mercer is. The two of them were in like this really low budget bad movie. Apparently, I've never seen it or anything, but they were in these movies, and Kevin Sorbo posted something about how Antifa are the majority of the crowds there, and this was all a plot by them, that they put it all together and so on. While literally person after person after person in the pictures is getting themselves identified and kicked out, or fired by their companies and so on because of this shit. But Mercer and Kevin Sorbo, that movie they did together, Mercer replied to his tweet saying, "I'm embarrassed to have ever shared a screen with you," or something like that. Which got a chuckle out of that.
Good. I actually it made me really sad because I actually liked Kevin Sorbo. Like I
love that show when I was a kid.
All the
Yeah,
time.
that show was cool.
Bummed me out when I saw that. At least Lucy Lawless isn't crazy yet.
She disowned him too. Same thing.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. The Warlock ability for your Sako. Assuming you're going Warlock 10.
Yes, please.
All right. So in that case, then, I guess nobody probably actually knew that you were a Warlock. Maybe I shouldn't have spoiled that, but in narrative, you guys know that matters necessarily. I guess you guys would know that he has a master that he was reporting to, as he said. So the thing in there is pretty clear. I'll paste it into your character channel, Sako, because I'm not sure what it is that you were seeing. The resistance thing. That's what your level 10 ability is in your character channel. Okay. Did you have questions on that, or were you seeing something different somewhere?
Something. Hold on. Maybe I'm just reading this wrong. It's just something out of Xanthier's book, level 10. Let me double check here.
Your subclass is in the PHP.
Oh, all right.
Yours. Okay, I'm guessing then you were looking at a different subclass. Yours is called that, and it's the PHP. I can give you the link to the page actually.
That.
I mean, you guys could probably gather all this stuff anyways, but
I don't mind. I'm just gonna. Yeah. I like to stay in the dark.
I think it's more fun this way too, where you guys figure things out, especially with him being new to the party and everything.
Well, I did ask what kind of magic he uses, and he didn't particularly answer one way or another.
He did actually. He answered. What was it? Was definitely an ambiguous answer.
It was
a very vague.
Very vague answer. It was just like chaos real or something, and that was it. Like he didn't actually answer what his magic was. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It'd be a fun character to play would be like Dr. Orpheus from Venture Brothers.
I've seen like half of it.
I will make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like everything he says is like super like loud and like as if there's like lightning shattering down around him. It would be a super annoying character.
That's what confused me, I think.
Yeah, it's otherworldly. Okay, so the patron feature in this case, you would look at this specific otherworldly patron, which is yours, the one that you chose, and for that one is the one that I pasted in there.
Gotcha. Okay, I think that's where my confusion was. Simple.
No problem. All right, read over that real quick and let me know if you have any questions on that. Ben, are you back at your computer now? I see you logged in. G?
He's probably still muted.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, do you want to go ahead and roll your hit points? You're the only class that gets a D12. Right? Yeah, it's a D12.
Yeah.
And plus your con mod, which for you, I think is maxed out. No, it's not. +3.
Armor of Hexes, I think it was. Is that right?
No, that would be one of the other subclasses too.
That's Hexblade.
Yeah. For a total of 5, bringing you to 106, G.
Cool.
All right, and your ability... You are going Barbarian, right?
Yeah, I'm just staying past the Berserker.
All right. Is yours that you can't be... No, yours is the thing where you can yell at people until they're scared. Yeah, intimidating presence.
Okay.
German?
Do you remember how... yeah, really. He yells in German. Do you remember how that... Did you look at it, G? Do you know how that one works?
I have before. I need to go look at it again, though.
So what it is...
I'll do that, though.
Yeah, it's not a spoilery thing because everybody knows that you're a barbarian anyway, so it doesn't really it's not a spoilery thing that you have this. But you can use your action to frighten someone with your menacing presence. That one, it was actually uptuned in one of the erratas, I think. I can't remember. Basically, you can use your action to yell at somebody and frighten them, and then on subsequent turns, it says you can use your action to extend the duration, but it's actually just a bonus to extend it. So you can, if you use your action the first time to scare them, you can kind of keep scaring them by using your bonus action each turn.
Cool.
All right.
Those are a couple Dr. Orpheus videos I threw on
I
there.
recognize that guy. Yeah, he was
The
probably
second
in
one's
the
the
episode I saw.
second one's a better of what it is, like a better representation.
And he floats like Nazim too. Super
I
dramatic.
had Taco Bell for lunch.
All right, Norok is 10. Arteme is... Oh, I didn't do Artemis yet. Let me do that. Almost done here, guys. Then we can actually get started here.
It's okay. We're having fun.
Yeah, I didn't
Everyone just smile and wave.
Nazim, I got to do 10. Because you guys, partially I was, expecting it to be a slightly shorter session this week too, but I didn't, have an idea of which of a million paths you guys are going to choose this time. So, we talked about it last week, but you guys hadn't decided yet. So, I didn't have a lot of outside material prepped for you guys just yet anyways.
Well, I mean, if we're still all talking, we'll figure it out in game.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be back here in narrative in just a moment. I just want to make sure that Sako has that ability. Does that make sense for you, Sako? Do you have any questions on how that works?
We got that. Yeah, we got that.
All right, then that is everybody at 10. Everybody's hit points adjusted. All of your abilities, those that are not already on there, I'll be adding for you when the session's over here, so they'll be on there before next week. Just to be clear, though, you do have those now, so you can use them in this session and everything because you guys already did your rest and everything. So don't feel like you have to wait for them or anything. I updated the map, obviously, as you guys probably see. This is back since you guys are back at the Crow Fort. I kind of like I was mentioning earlier, right before Ben joined. I would like to kind of, in a narratively relevant way, catch Sako up. So both Sako and Nazim kind of need some details on what has happened so far, and I think it'll make more sense if it's done in narrative. So you guys can handle that however you choose here. But where we left off, you guys are in the war room with Commander Pepperjack and Ozzy. Oh, and so because smaller-minded people would bitch about why he's named Pepperjack and think that's silly. There is a reasoning for it. You don't know that, of course, Sako. But it's a nickname. But he is the commander of this military force, which you would have gathered by context clues from where you were at. So you guys are in the war room here with the two of them. Pepperjack, you guys have just kind of gone over the situation that brought you here, and kind of the events of the previous day that you'd been sent to go retrieve the Wood Sage's chorus and managed to do so. Pepperjack says, "So your little band of misfits continues to grow. Then I see."
Yeah, we just kind of pick people up as we go. This one here staved, or I should say, at least helped us out a bit. So until anything else comes along better, I suppose he's gonna just hang out with us, be our little helper, so to speak.
Well, that's awfully. Well, bow. Okay, that's awfully hospitable of you, but
he's very formal. He's a very formal creature, man.
I see. Would you mind maybe introducing me to your new friend here? You did, after all, bring a stranger into a relatively safe military base.
Relatively safe. Okay, so this here he's Nazim, and relative to what? Never mind. So, anyways, do you want to introduce yourself, Nazim?
Sure. I'll just introduce myself similar to how I introduced myself to everyone else.
Okay.
Name, details, and whatnot, but not revealing everything, of course.
Sure.
Staying reserved.
Anyways, so he seems like he's more of a, he doesn't have a path right now in life, and he's just going to hang out with us until he maybe finds his own directions. But he seems all right. He's a bit weird, but aren't we all in certain ways? Isn't that right, Nazim?
I'll just wave with fingers again.
Nazim, make a insight check.
Okay. Insight.
We're all there, right?
Yeah, you're all in this room.
And I guess we've been gone since the last time we came back. 2
Literally
days?
one
Or
day. No, 1 day.
One
Yeah.
day?
You guys teleported in yesterday morning, and you came back this morning. It was literally 9 sessions of 1 day, because 6 of those sessions were just inside of the inside Tahakapan.
So,
go ahead.
by the way, I'm just going to be talking to Pepperjack. So, I mean, if there's something, if you don't quite trust him, we can always set him up back at the keep, and we can discuss anything else that you not want to discuss until maybe his, loyalties have been proven more strong. Not sure if that other force would have even known that we were on that island with the elves to even be able to put in some sort of spy, if you will. So seems at least safe from that regard. But would that make you more comfortable?
Yeah. To be honest, I'm not too concerned with it, anyways. Your certain brand of luck is beyond me, anyways, and I've come to not question it. Certainly, your benefits have outweighed your cost, ale or otherwise.
Yeah, that's pretty much my cost.
He looks back at Nazim. He says, by your accent and your attire, then I gather you're from Vabi, correct?
I am.
He kind of squints a little bit. Sako, I sent you a message in the chat there. So I need to walk you through setting up that got it macro. I just want to make sure that you got it. In the meantime, though, he says he kind of squints a little bit. He says, and look, as though we're doing all we can to prevent it, we're currently on the precipice of war with your homeland. You understand that as well, correct?
Is there any food in the room?
No.
Okay.
Ooh, something shiny.
Pogo's feeling peckish. He's just going
Pogo's fucking nonstop ADHD.
I'll say, I've been away from my homeland for far too long, so I was not aware of this.
Is this a concern for you?
It's no concern.
Yeah, were you ever there's a lot of people who are apolitical as well, Pepperjack. Just because he's from somewhere doesn't mean he believes in their values.
I wasn't holding that against him. Ozzy here is from Vabi as well.
Exactly.
I'm just making sure whether this is a patriot we're standing in front of or not. That said, then, since it seems your new friend is not necessarily on the same page as everyone else, would you like to maybe fill him in on the events that led us here?
Not even sure he's in the same book as us, honestly, but I mean, so how about one of you guys fill in? I don't pay as much attention as you. So it all starts on a boat ride. None of this happened before a boat.
For you, for Pogo. For Pogo, it starts on a boat.
That's my joke. Right? This is how I'm starting to explain it. So we're on a boat. And then there were all these crazy water creatures that came up and attacked. And then I pretended to look like one of them, all sneaky-like. And then I got hit by some sort of lightning or fire that turned back into me. And then it was these guys up on the boat itself. And then we had to find this other thing, and we brought that thing back here. And then this wasn't actually here. So this wasn't a thing that was in this place. And then we made the thing this place when the other things were around
Ozzy interrupts and says, this is going to take all afternoon. I'm afraid I've got things to do. Sarah or Lady Arteme, would one of you, Norok, any of you?
Short version, a few of us ended up getting captured and put on a ship, woke up here. Well, yeah,
No.
easier version.
Not here.
Well, not here, but we woke up on the shore in Vabi, ended up being kicked out to where they were just killing people. One of the lovely people that was marching us along to our deaths asked us to go and find something, so we sneakily left, came back, did a few things, ended up here, did a few more things, got the fort up, and then did a few stealth missions, came back again, and then we went to find the Wood Sage's course. That about sums it up.
Pepperjack looks at Nazim. So is that clear now?
Basically, unfortunately, your homeland is taking some very dastardly moves and trying to murder / starve / cannibalize all these other fine people who are not really doing anything wrong, in our opinion, at least these ones here.
I'm gonna roll my eyes at Pogo and say that's overcomplicating it. They're just don't want anybody else that wasn't born there in the country, and they're being extremely aggressive about it. And if you want to know more, you could check my note journals. Just give them back after.
But I mean, that was one sentence. Like, how was that? Did you get it? Did you understand my sentence, Nazim? Do I need to use less syllables?
You sounded like bad luck, but I think I understand how she explained it.
All right, it's real simple. So now we're just trying to, I guess, either make sure that side doesn't win or stops what they're doing, or at minimum we get more support from this side where we need it.
In all honesty, I've cut all ties with my previous life, so this combat or war means nothing to me.
Do you know anyone of importance who might be on that side?
No.
All right. Insight check.
Halflings racing each other to the inside check.
God, my insight's not great. I can lie. I can dish it.
Read people? There you go. Yeah.
Not bad.
And
then,
so at least for as far as what I know, Nazim, I could answer, but I want you to make a roll to decide what you're, and then you can just text it, type it to me in the chat. So go ahead and make a roll. Remember, the last time that we did persuasion or deception, you choose which one you're going to roll. Just make sure that you set it to GM roll first before you click the die.
Secret roll.
Okay, GM roll. Private
Ben, would Norok have jumped in at all with the description of events? Or Sarah?
No, I just would have summed it up and said that we were pretty much what Pogo was trying to say, that we all met each other as being sold into slavery, and then kind of broke free and realized that it was more than just that. They're not just intending to kick everybody out of Babby, if I remember right. They're trying to, looks like they're going to declare war on other nations as well too. So we're trying to stop a very big picture that we accidentally got mixed up in. And if I'm not mistaken.
Don't forget they're trying real hard to get powerful artifacts. I know it seems like to bring back to life some other creature.
Sack.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
That pretty much sums it up. Is the bringing back Sack as their ultimate goal?
Pepperjack kind of nods.
Don't worry. Don't pretend like he wouldn't want you to follow him around though. He's not that kind of thing. You're much better off hanging out with us.
That would sound extremely suspicious to Nazim. What Pogo said.
Kind of look around the room a little bit at everyone's faces, just scowling for a moment.
You cut out. What did Pogo say?
He said he was referring to Sek, I assume, right, Pogo?
Yeah.
That Sek is not somebody that would want you to follow him and so on. Yeah. So real quick, so hang on. So the roll from Nazim for Sarah and Pogo insight check on Nazim, you're sure he's lying.
Are you
certain that he's lying?
So I actually don't remember what. He said no.
About specifically his. So you're certain that he's lying about not knowing anybody still left in Vabby.
All right, Nazim. So we'll talk about that maybe in a bit. What do you think, Sarah?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
All right. So
as you wish.
Sako, here. I'll just type. I'm going to type just for simplicity's sake. I'll just type it to you in Foundry here.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just want to take a bunch of tree roots and put concrete on them, and then hang them above our table? Yeah.
Okay. So Becky, you probably recognize that, don't you?
Looks like Warhammer stuff.
No. That room
about tree roots.
So the image, the background image in the war room here.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so I thought you, especially because of the eye, that you would recognize what that place is. But yeah, I just took the background image for it because it was a war room, so simple enough. Anyways, it comes from something, obviously. Justin. But anyways, as you guys, finish this after Nora kind of helps fill in some gaps there, Pepperjack nods a little bit, looks back at Nazim. He says, they got the gist of it. Some of the stuff was a little bit, disjointed and out of order, but considering how chaotic this group is, that's probably no surprise. Series of events, essentially, your homeland, I'm guessing in your absence maybe, has started pushing into and making aggressive actions towards the Empire to the north, where we're from. My group and I are the Crowblinders. We're just a military wing of the Empire, and since Vabi has pushed in and started, let's say, emptying out certain villages that were in the neutral zone, let's say, between the two, and those people have gone missing, we had to put up a bulwark, essentially, to stop them from getting any further. This group here that you've just joined they were part of a eviction from a Vabian city that they murdered. At this point, it would be about 20,000 civilians, as they were being forced to march in this direction. And then my force here and I have kind of intercepted them and managed to erect this fortress to keep them out. If you were to go out to the ramparts and look out, you would see that we are very much surrounded by your homeland's forces. The Vabian Legion are outside surrounding this fortress, so we can't exactly leave. And we are currently in the midst of attempting peace talks to get them to de-escalate. What they're demanding for such de-escalation, though, are the bits of the relics of an Ascended who was killed thousands of years ago, called the Great Serpent of Autumn, or Sek. And we don't have those pieces. Those pieces were rumored to be here at these ruins before we built this fortress a few weeks ago, but we have no idea that if they ever actually were here or where they are. Becky has been just rejoining from his computer. He just dropped out.
Yeah.
When we were walking in here, did we still see soldiers digging?
You came from inside the fortress into another room inside the fortress. You didn't go outside.
Got it.
Yeah. You back on your computer now, G? Ben? Is the headset on top of your head?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, now you sound good. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So anyways, he kind of goes over all of that, and then as I believe Lady Arteme had mentioned, one of the Seerdaman, one of your countrymen, you recognize the word Seerdaman, Sako, as magisters, magic nobles, essentially, in the Vabian Legion, and one of them is essentially a traitor to Vabi and helped the rest of the group here. Her name is Maibi. I'll type that for you. Maibi is her name. Anyways, she was tortured, captured and tortured for being a traitor to her country, and they did a lot of bad things. Let's say she's in pieces at the moment. The rest of the group here went to recover a magical artifact called the Wood Sage's Chorus that you now see sitting on Lady Arteme's forehead there. That is intended to heal Maibi's wounds so that we can hopefully use her expertise and contacts inside the Vabian Legion to go behind enemy lines and stop this war before it begins.
Or we might be able to talk to the Emperor and get more help.
Yeah. Which I've sent one of my lieutenants to do, and things don't appear to have gone very well with that either. So
we'll talk about that maybe a little later.
So with all of that cut up, I'm sure not all of that makes sense, Sako, but do you have any questions? Does Sako have any questions about kind of the basic setting of where things are right now?
I can kind of see where things are at. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If you want, Jeremy has like a 38-page document that goes over.
Right now, for real, like the whole setting book all in OneNote is probably 400 or 500 pages at this point. But that includes balance and remember too, even Rose and Thorn, all that's in the same world too. You guys, Rose and Thorn is just a little bit ways northwest of where you guys are.
You could write a book.
I mean, I wouldn't, but yeah, I could. I would not say it would be interesting. Just that there's a lot of material there. Anyway, the setting essentially is that you have the Empire to the north. Empire. Neither of these are good guys or bad guys. Let me be clear about that, right? Empire's to the north, Vabi's to the south. Vabi has its reasons. And these guys know some of those reasons anyways, but Vabi does have legitimate reasons, let's say, to be aggressive towards the Empire and has started, attacking them essentially for those reasons. And the Crowblinders here, along with the party, are trying to kind of prevent all that war between these two. That's
Gotcha.
it. So, Pepperjack then says, but with all of that settled, then back to our earlier conversation of what to do. I mean, you've returned, of course, with that. So our fingers are crossed, of course, that the healing of my EB will go well. But at the very least, it's going to take a few weeks of recovery. So, as much as your assistance is certainly appreciated, you are welcome to, kind of do your own thing for a little while, or rest, or just hold up in the Kettle Keep and settle in, whatever you'd like to do.
Well, I think we should probably go introduce him to, Kettle Keep and get sorted there, and maybe we can meet you back here in a bit to discuss the capital situation.
Ozzy and I will be here for until we have a plan, so it's probably going to be a while. By all means, settle in. I know you just arrived, so if you'd like to, take a few hours to set your bags down and things of that sort, by all means, we can meet up again later.
I wouldn't mind taking a bath down in that cheese room.
I'm gonna go see if one of the healers wants to try and heal her, or if my spell would be enough to heal my EB, and then, I don't know, I'll come back, see what's up.
Ozzy kind of lowers his head a little bit, closes his eyes kind of solemnly, says that would be sincerely appreciated, Lady Arteme.
I'll take Nazim back to the Kettle Keep. Is everyone else coming with me to the keep?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So as we're walking, I would like to see, are there still soldiers digging?
Yeah, so here, 1 second. Sako, use either your character channel or inside of Foundry, 'cause it's a little easier to click back and forth.
I don't know how to do the Foundry thing yet.
Well, okay, yeah, in Foundry it would just be /W and then GM, so you would do it. Ignore the first part.
Right, where was Clover sent? Was she sent behind enemy lines or to the capital?
She was sent to the capital, yeah.
Okay, so to go find her would be the capital.
Yep, that worked. And Sako, that was correct. Yeah, she is in the capital. She was sent... Okay, you guys had a conversation in the same war room with Ozzy and Pepperjack previously, where Clover was present, and they talked about their plan to kind of solve the problem at the capital, and Clover was kind of fingering her knife at the time, remember?
Yes.
And Norok told you guys later that he got the impression this was an assassination mission that she was being sent on, and that was to the capital.
And it wasn't for the main guy. It was for his
his vizier.
For his
Mhm.
vizier. Yeah.
Yep.
Some biatch.
Yeah. And Sako, in answer to your question, yeah, as far as you guys know, that's what it was. Yeah, unless she thought. Sako, so this will be a little bit complicated too. There's an original ruins here that are about 400 years old that a culture called the Mephuans built. The ancient Mephuans built this kind of these ruined keep that was here, and that's where the Vabians think the relics of their ascended, that giant serpent, were here. They think they were left there at these old ruins. Gotcha. While this place was being kind of held up on, where they were trying to defend themselves inside the ruins of this ancient Mephuan keep, the Crowblinders here summoned a fortress. It's a spell that they have essentially to teleport their fortress called the Crow Fort here, which literally grew up out of the ground, and the ruins are now on the roof of the Crow Fort. So it's literally a keep that existed elsewhere, and they teleported it here, and that teleportation kind of grows it up out of the ground, which means that the actual ruins that were there before are on the roof of the Crow Fort right now.
And you guys are inside the Crow Fort. And there's a giant like ice sphere around us. We're actually in like almost like a what would be the biome
Badlands,
that we
literally called Badlands. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like a desert. Yeah, dead. Everything's dead. It's like cracked
around
earth
us and shit.
Yeah.
And this is now just a snowy, weird little aspen.
Yeah, I'll explain that now too.
It's
so
a snow globe.
it kind of is.
We're in our own snow globe. That's perfect.
So inside of the Crow Fort, which is a big castle, right? You have the wall around the outside, and then you have a central keep and everything. Inside of that is a smaller version of a keep called a Kettle Keep. That right there. And the Kettle Keep, for the party's work, all the stuff that they did, they were given the Kettle Keep and allowed to just have it and use it. So that's where they're your guys' home base is the Kettle Keep. You have rooms. It's a small castle inside the castle.
The tower's mine. I claimed it.
And Arteme took the tower.
And I took the master bedroom.
As far as the snow, I'm gonna go here. I'll switch to this real quick, just so you guys can see this. That's not an accurate depiction of what the place looks like, but imagine the outer wall, central keep, and everything, right? So inside that wall, there's another smaller keep, and that's what everybody has. Now, in fact, this is one floor of the kettle keep here. But basically, you guys have this. Now, as far as the blizzard goes, like they had described, this area, this biome that you guys are actually in, although Nazim wouldn't be able to tell this, it's Badlands. It's a lot of dead plants and stuff like that, like plants that live in like Nevada-style desert, let's say. So a lot of succulents and things like that. But to keep the Vabians back, because most of the Vabian army are dead, most of them are undead, literally just undead soldiers. Most of the Vabians can't move very quickly in snow. So to kind of reduce the risk of hostilities, the Crowblinders, when they got here, there's a ring of mages that are keeping this snowstorm going constantly. They just opened a portal above the Kettle Keep to a snowy plain, an ice plain that is just constantly blowing this blizzard in to keep the Vabians from being able to attack.
Specifically, there are
one hell of a conflict.
There are these giant space flying bug things that are just like bug dragons. I don't know.
Yeah, the Amora.
Yeah.
Yep. So, anyways,
I made one laugh once and he fell out of the sky.
Okay.
That's the power of bard spells.
Trying to figure out which spells to have active is like they're almost all concentration.
Yeah, that's druids.
That is hard.
You get every spell, but you can only use one at a time. That's the whole choice. You basically get every fucking spell in the game practically, but you only get to pick one.
But you get like 14 prepared, and then you can only use 1 or 2 at a time because you're using concentration on one, and then you can use tiny little spells for the rest. It's like, So my main thing is ice knife and my whips.
You have some badass ones on top of that. It's just a matter of, the kind of situational use for them.
Yeah, but lately, every time we're in a fight, I have to use my healing spirit, which is concentration, so I can't use one of my badass concentration spells.
Well, good thing that your DM was generous enough to give you a fucking game-breaking ability.
Yes.
You can cast 2 concentration spells.
Which is going to be amazing until I have to give it back to the elves.
All right, so, Wodji?
Well, I was just saying we don't have to give it back. We can just run.
Dude, I do not want to become an exile.
Yeah, really.
Artemis will fucking murder you.
I don't want to become an exile, thank you very much. I don't go home often, but I like having a home. So I'm going to go down to see my EB.
Okay. It's actually up. So remember where the infirmary is the topmost level inside the Crow Fort.
Yeah.
Where the windows are, so it's freezing cold generally, but that also kind of helps for other reasons, but kind of reduces macular degeneration and so on. Not macular, that'd be eyes, I think. Anyways, so are you going by yourself, or is anybody going with you?
I was going by myself because everybody else said they were going to the Kettle Keep.
Ozzy, as you guys are preparing to leave, Ozzy says nobody else is concerned with my EBs. Whatever. I'll go with you.
I mean,
I think they're pretty tired right now because we've done like quite a bit.
I'm not.
Is there any incense around?
Anything I could help with?
No, honestly, that thing that's sitting on her head is what was going to be the most relevant anyway. So, I'll go with her. You guys
I go and sing to her, or I can.
In that case, no. Drums, yeah, probably best if you don't go.
I've got my banjo.
Go find your cheese bath. Go find your cheese bath and just.
It's a bath in a cheese room. No one understands me. No one understands me, Nazim. Norak Nazim.
Does she like entertainment? Is that why you try to sing to her?
I've met her once, and I'm pretty sure she was about to murder us. I didn't even find out until later she was a friend.
Perhaps if I dance, maybe that would help you.
I mean, it never hurts. Have you ever danced and then afterwards been like, that was
You could always just go to the tavern, please.
I'm not. We have our own tavern with our own manservant.
Really?
And his name is Abraham.
He's a manservant and his name is Abraham. That's what I said.
Oh my god. Before Artemis takes off, I'm going to ask her for the skull so I can identify it.
Oh, right. Okay. I'll take it out of my bag because it's not in the bag holding, but it's just in my bag. And give it to her.
I was going to say, too, that it is quite large, so just keeping it in your bag is going to be a little bit difficult as far as the amount of space it would take up. You still can, but just carrying it and everything, it's not heavy anymore. It's just large.
Well, I just don't know if putting it in the bag of holding would affect it, which is why I didn't put it in yet. So if she says it's okay to put it in, I'll put it in the bag holding. But until then,
Sounds good.
So I've got a crazy idea. What if, now just hear me out, what if that was a helmet for Norok? He could walk around with this massive skull on his head.
let's just find out what it does first, please.
All right.
Okay.
Just keep it in
I
mind.
think Norok liked that idea.
Yeah, no, that was scary.
It'd be fun. We could
Why don't
make
we just
like
go kill something and you can take its skull?
I mean, that's fine. I've got some teeth from a wolves that we were murdering until I found out they were elves, and I felt kind of bad.
I like the $1 million mana. You guys are piecing me together. We're building. All right.
So we're heading to Kettle Keep, and hopefully everything goes well with Maybe. Good luck.
If you
Saying that.
is Norok going to the Kettle Keep too?
Actually, I'm going to go with Artemis. I changed my mind.
Okay, awesome then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just hang up the leather stuff when I get back to start airing it out to be able to make it into something else.
Okay. So Ozzy, Norok, and Arteme are going up to Maibi.
Yes.
And Pogo, Nazim, are you going with Pogo to the Kettle Keep?
Yeah. I'm
Do you want to
following
see
Bobo.
where we're going to hang out for maybe a day? Till we figure this all out?
Yes.
What'd you say, Jay?
I was just saying the new crib. Well, new to Nazim.
All right. Then how about Sarah? Where's Sarah going?
Back to the Kettle Keep.
Okay. All right. Then that'll a little easier. I was afraid it was going to be 3 separate places, so it's only 2 to bounce between. I mean, at least in places like this, when you guys split the party, it's not quite so bad. If it's in a dangerous situation, it's a lot harder.
And plus, we can still get back to each other pretty quick. If we need to.
Yeah. So then, in that case, then Ozzy, Norok, and Arteme, as you guys kind of go up the spiral stairs all the way, Ozzy kind of filling you guys in. She's been in and out of a coma, mostly in, unfortunately, these days. The healing has really not been all that successful. And to be honest, if we really had dealt with these kinds of wounds on anyone else, anyone with let's say lesser importance, we would have let them go a long time ago. But we're sincerely hoping that this will actually work and bring her back to us, because it would be an immense boon on our side to hopefully prevent further escalations here.
If it's any consolation, the greater laceration worked on my aunt.
He squints a little bit and turns his head sideways to you.
She was excavating and ended up. I'm not sure. She didn't exactly explain how, but she lost the use of her legs.
And this healed her?
Yes, I just used greater restoration with and it worked.
Norok, you saw this as well?
Yes, I did. I actually saw her go from being wheelchair bound to being able to walk again. So.
Wow. Pardon me, Lady Arteme. I didn't mean to insinuate that I didn't believe you. Just that, if she was your aunt, maybe there was closer ties, I guess. But, well, I guess at the very least it couldn't hurt. So, to be honest, I've never seen an arc of this magnitude a Den arc, be used in such a manner. But we can certainly give it a shot. And by then, you guys are arriving at the top of the stairs. It's already freezing fucking cold by the time you get there. Just there's not enough heat to be able to pump this way. Basically, even fireplaces in the place can't keep up with the chill, because the windows just aren't designed to keep out that kind of cold with the blizzard outside. But you step into the blaring light, one wall, just full windows the entire way along it. Smaller windows, but just tons and tons of them along the wall. In this kind of circular top of the keep. So you're basically at the top of the tower with the outer wall being circular, so it kind of bends all the way around. There are cots everywhere, wounded soldiers covering, holding a hand over an eye and moaning all over the place. Just clearly a lot of wounded in here. But I will point out that all of you, having been here, it was a few days ago the last time you guys visited Maibi. But the wounds don't look new, I guess is how I'd say that. None of them appear to be, doesn't look like there were any more recent skirmishes, as you would guess, based on what you're seeing here. But you step into the room. Arteme, when you look in, you don't see the medic that the healer that is kind of responsible for Maibi at first, but you kind of go around the corner a little ways, just following around that circular path until you see him. His name is Asher. He's one of the Crowblinder's Sawbones healers. You sense a small amount of dental capability in him, the healing reel dental. But it's more, that he has a more of a, let's say, physical study of medical practice than he does a magical one. Surgery and cutting off limbs, that kind of thing.
Okay, so I'll use the arc then in that case.
Okay.
Oh, but I will ask if he has any spare books I could learn medicine from.
He sees you and kind of grins for a second, and then his eyes go wide when he realizes what you're wearing on your head, or at least what he expects that must be. You managed to find it then?
Yes.
This way. Are you? Do you need to rest? Are you ready? Do I need
I
to
could do it now. I'll try with great respiration.
He's already turning around when you say that, and kind of walking quickly around the corner towards the direction where Maibi is.
Follow that.
Okay. You follow him along. You see Maibi basically unchanged, laying there. Eyes are closed. Eyelids are just badly torn up, as you remember, of course. Covered in a blanket up to her neck, basically. Where one leg should be from the knee down, the blanket is just laying flat against the bed. Obviously, the leg is missing. You can't see her hands, but of course, her hands are also gone. And her eyes missing as well. But she's just laying there, not moving. She hasn't woken up since you were here last, so.
Okay, so I'll start right away and use greater restoration first.
Okay. Then standing over her, you place your hand on her forehead, which is clammy and cold. It's clear that she's feverish and still trying to fight it off, it seems. But like a kind of shouldn't be this wet, I guess, with the cold temperature in this room. But you set it on her, and channeling as much power as you possibly can using the Wood Sage's Chorus, you feel it, the warmth kind of passing through your hand and into out through your hand rather, and into her forehead. There's no reaction initially. It takes you a good solid minute or so of just kind of focusing on this, and it's the same spell. It doesn't cost any more, mental energy, let's say, to impart this, but it's taking a long time for the effects to begin to show themselves, I guess is how I'd say that. And you finish the casting of it, not sure if it's even worked or seen any change to it. Give me a percentile dice roll. Just Fox. You were upcasting to 7, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the yeah.
It'd be 5 plus 2, yeah.
When I look around, everybody seems pretty normal, right? There's not anybody trying to stare at us, maybe stare at the crown more than they should.
How do I do the percentage die again?
Give me a percentile dice roll, G. Or sorry, a perception, rather. And then Fox, it is the one that's directly above the roll button. It shows 2 dice. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
That one. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, that was a good roll. Go ahead and give me the perception roll, G.
Okay. I'm going to do 2 again, because I don't know if the shift button is working for the advantage.
If you just click it, does it pop up the little box asking for advantage, normal, or disadvantage?
Let me see.
I just rolled. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I'll go through the settings and change that. I just forgot to do that last week. 2 of the same roll? Oh, okay, 11. You look around as Artemis is going through this casting process. You kind of looking left, looking right, kind of around this donut-shaped room, essentially. When your eyes pass Artemis, you do see that the kind of bone chunk that's in the center of the wooden crown that she's wearing is glowing, kind of this dim yellow glow. But apart from that, everybody is standing in place, frozen, and while this place should be... When you guys first walked in, let's say, it was loud with kind of this dull murmur of people moaning in pain, essentially. But now that she started this, all eyes are in this direction, and it is silent. It is quiet enough to hear a pin drop, except for the constant blur of the blizzard wind outside the windows. But other than that, everybody is staring in this direction. So you don't pick anything out as looking suspicious, but they are definitely intent on staring on what's happening right now.
Just curiosity, mostly, seems like.
Yeah, you see a mix between curiosity and kind of envy in a few eyes. Some that are clearly in pain, that are kind of hoping that maybe this gets, this kind of use gets past their direction soon, that kind of thing. But you don't see anything that looks, security concerning, let's say.
Okay.
Okay. Arteme, after the finishing of the cast, the energy expended in through Maibi, like I said, it's a good solid minute or so of casting, which is very strange because that spell doesn't take very long to actually enact. Normally it's only a few seconds, but it really took forever to kind of draw out and then finish. And like I said, despite this room full of wounded and maimed soldiers, the space around you is just silent in here. You watching for a moment, you kind of take your hand away, not really sure if it's had an impact until you start to see her breathing kind of strengthen a little bit, like her chest is rising a little bit further, and then going back down, like she's breathing deeper than she had been. And you see her torn eyelids flutter open slowly. When they flutter open, they kind of inadvertently pull apart these barely healed scabs, and you're seeing this kind of glistening of fresh blood, revealing this kind of empty gore of empty eye sockets behind these eyelids. Obviously, she's not mentally intact just yet. She seems disoriented at first, and her head she kind of ever so slowly turns her head to the left and to the right, like she's trying to look around and not yet understanding that she can't see or remembering why she can't see.
Can I put her eyes like close to see if they'll heal together, or?
It's so as you're watching this, you're seeing the beginning of stitching of what forced healing looks like. It's just going slow. It just seems like there's a lot of damage here that it's trying to work through. So it does seem like it's starting to work. It just she's not mentally all the way there just yet. Kind of waking up groggy, let's say, except a much worse case where she's waking up from a coma with a lot of severe physical trauma. A few seconds of this, though, where she's kind of looking around, or her head is turning around with these empty eye sockets, not able to see anything, and then she closes what remains of those eyelids, and you're still able to kind of see through the torn spots where the eyelids are torn through. But you again are starting to see them kind of begin to slowly stitch back together. A moment later, you see a tear roll down one cheek and then into her ear. She's laying flat, so it kind of rolls into her ear, and she kind of starts trying to shake her head a little bit, but clearly struggling to do so.
I'm gently going to tell her not to move, to wait till she's healed a bit more.
When you speak, she sits perfectly still for a moment, and then kind of very slowly, like it's still obviously some pain, kind of turns her head in the direction of your voice. And she, still eyes closed, but like she would be trying to look at you essentially, with a very weak and trembling voice, she whispers, "Hurt? Who did?"
Sorry.
Honestly, I don't remember that far back.
Who farted? What?
No, who hurt?
Sorry. That's all I wanted to say.
It was probably like, so I would put it this way, it's probably, you would infer, supposed to be
Who hurt her?
more like that's two separate,
Yeah.
like that's two separate statements. She just can't, like it's already paining her anyways to be able to spit out any syllables, and she just chose a couple of them essentially.
Is that what it seems like she was trying to ask? Is who hurt her?
You're not sure, but that you might be inferring that, or who did, like maybe who's healing her. You don't know. It's hard to say.
Okay. Just say it's Norak and Arteme. Arteme just healed you, and hopefully you'll start feeling better soon. And I don't remember. Did we ever even know? Did they even have names? I know it was the Vabians that captured her and tortured her, but did we ever know like any names or anything?
Arteme got his name, yeah. So when Arteme did that stealth mission that she was really referring to, where she got found by the Amora, and where she was walking through the scales of the Amora.
I almost got found, yeah.
Yeah, she heard a couple of the other soldiers there talking about a Photep who was the torturer, and that was the guy that had cut her into pieces when you guys rescued her. In fact, you killed him when you rescued her. Remember?
Yes.
So, but anyways, so then you, what are you saying? I would say that Norak obviously would remember that. That would only be, maybe a month ago, I think, at this point.
Okay. Yeah, then I would have said a Photep. That was what his name was. I'm sorry, right?
Yep.
Yeah, a Photep was the one who was in charge of your torture, but he's no longer living, so...
You see the subtlest. I would say that probably only Norak would even be able to pick this out naturally, just from, studying the kind of feral instincts portion of facial twitches and animals moving and things. I get Arteme with hunting probably would see similar things to this. But anyways, there's a very subtle twitch around her mouth, like where you would expect to see her mouth tightening a little bit in kind of a frown maybe, but she just doesn't have that kind of motor control just yet. And she kind of, in that same kind of trembling voice, she says, "Thank."
Our pleasure. Glad to have you back with us. And I'm just gonna kind of move over to the side and just, keep an eye on everything, I guess.
Okay. Arteme, in kind of looking for the wounds, you see that where the blanket falls, where her missing leg is, the blanket is long since stained like a dark pink. Like it's clearly that they've washed this blanket over and over and over again and keep putting it back on her afterwards, but it's just stained through with blood so many times that there's just this big pink stain where her knee should be, and the leg is missing. So it's clear that the wounds were still never healing quite properly either.
So are her hands reattaching from like where we had them, or?
So she's under the blanket, so you're not actually she's basically covered up to the neck, so you're not seeing the wounds except for her face.
Okay. I'm gently gonna lift the blanket to see if her hands are reattaching from where we put them, because I would have taken them out of the jars before healing.
Well, okay. I mean,
they float across the room.
Well, so I'll put it this way: you then, in that case, then, if you had taken them out and put them back, put the formaldehyded hands next to where her stumps are, where her wrists are, you see the flesh stitching back together at the wrists, and slowly, kind of ever so slowly, it's going to be hours before it's even touching the hand that you put there. But it looks like the hand is regrowing in its own place without that.
Okay.
Yeah. So eventually, you get the impression that it'll probably start to push the the dehanded. What's the word for dehanded? Decap his head, obviously. Defenestrated,
I'm not sure.
Thrown through a window. Anyway,
severed, just unsevered or severed.
Oh, there's got to be a word. It would still be de something. It would just be whatever hand is, but the Latin word for hand. Choppy. That's it. Anyways, you get the impression that as it grows, it will start to push the severed hand away. It kind of begin to heal itself, but it's going to be a while before it even matters. Asher is just standing there in awe, not really sure what to say or do. Just kind of watching this reawakening of somebody that thought was clearly a lost cause. Like, he thought he was investing all this time and effort into her when it was not going to work, and he could have been spending it on healing the soldiers that would have made it.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Healing Spirit on the rest of the people in the infirmary. Hopefully it's going to heal them all, and I'm going to use the Wood Sage's course to up level it.
Okay. Asher, then, looking at you as you kind of start looking around the room, looking for others to help, he says, "Are you... I mean, pardon me, miss, but I don't want to just infer what you're going to, what your day looks like. But are you going to be staying to help out for a bit?"
Yeah.
That would be immensely grateful. I would be immensely grateful, rather. Norok, do you have things to attend to?
No, what I'll do is, anybody that wants it, at least, if they need it, I'll use some of that old Stridos that we have, and warn people ahead of time that it's going to make their tummies upset. But I know we have at least a few extra, vials of that, so I'm going to use, I think, the one or two that I had on me, and then I'll just grab some more out of the bag. When we get back to Kettle Keep them.
Asher, looking at you when you start to pull these out, he says, "I can kind of smell that from here. That smells awful. I don't know if we want to give that to, if they start retching and they end up tearing stitches and things, it might make the problem worse."
Yeah, that's like over 10,000 years old.
How about you just hang on to that? I think maybe your people's constitution can handle that stuff a little better than maybe us human folk here.
I'll just hang out and help clean up or just whatever. Moral support, talk to people, whatever.
Sure, we could definitely use it. I mean, the soldiers all admire your constitution at the very least anyways. They saw you get hit by that giant muddy rock and still stand back up afterwards. That would have killed 6 men.
It only killed me. Whatever. I came back. It's cool. not the first, my bad.
You got knocked unconscious. You didn't actually die from it.
Yeah, okay, unconscious. Yeah.
All right, so the two of you are going to stay up there then, in the infirmary?
Yeah, I'll stay for a while.
Okay. Ozzy, kind of after Maibi is seen to, he kind of sits at the side of her, is kind of settling down a little bit at the side of her cot, like he's, just waiting for her to maybe be conscious enough to speak, maybe, as you guys are walking around helping others. All right, then we will jump over to Pogo, Nazim, and Sarah.
Oh wait, do I spot any incense anywhere? Because while I'm healing people, I want to be able to try and get Sai back.
Sure.
I'm just my companion.
Actually, just because of the, let's say, the aroma in that kind of an infirmary where people are dying would smell awful. So it makes sense for them to actually have some incense around. So I would say that there's enough that you can gather 2 castings worth, and they don't really, they don't try to prevent you from grabbing any or anything. if anything, Asher is more than willing to give you as much as you need.
I'm just gonna grab enough for one summoning and go buy some more later. It's just I want Sai back. I miss her. I don't normally leave her gone this long. Okay.
Okay. All right. So are you gonna go ahead and settle down and summon her then?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have like the healing spirit move around a bit. Like I'll move it around with a bonus action while summoning.
Okay. Cool. All right then. Nazim, Sarah, and Pogo arriving back. You do walk across the courtyard of the snow-filled Crow Fort. There are still people digging in all directions, but you're like by now basically looking around. You're certain that the snow is basically brown all the way around because they've dug up into dirt and then thrown the dirt back in, refilled that hole and dug the spot next to it, and practically everywhere has been dug.
Hey, Serafina, does it seem to you like, based off what we just talked about, that they're basically just digging as a show? Like they don't think the thing's here, or do you think they still think it might be here? Seems like they're pretty confident it wasn't going to be here.
I know, but I mean, it can't hurt to dig and look just in case. You never know what the hell you're going to find.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. As he clangs his fucking random gold bracers against his arms. I mean, these are pretty neat.
Well, Pogo wasn't here before, and Sarah was. So Sarah does know that there is a lot of buried treasure right now in this place. Most of it's probably on the roof, but Pogo wasn't here. So Sarah was probably saying from a place of knowledge when she said that.
All right, so Nazim, this is our humble.
Broom.
This is where you got your broom. This is the origin story of that little flying wonder you have.
That you just recently learned as a mimic, by the way.
Yeah. The bitey one. Do you have to feed that too? Like, do you have to smack it around on people so they can eat a little food?
Becky?
We might have lost her. Anyways, Nazim, this is our beautiful...
Say something, Becky? Okay, I think it sounds like you're fine.
What are you saying? Shit, as in, was I not supposed? Was Pogo not supposed to know that?
I wasn't sure if she was cutting out.
You guys cut out. So.
Okay.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, no, I don't have to feed it. It just likes to cuddle.
Interesting. I mean, super weird. So, wait, isn't it broken? Isn't it like not Nazim? By the way, this is her friend, the broom. Does it have a name? Does your broom have a name?
No, it's just a
You
broom.
don't give it a name. It's a living creature. I've got Pinocchio, and he doesn't even like me.
Well, then you name it, and we'll see if it even likes the name.
All right, let's see here.
I probably should have given you that power.
Do you have any good names for a broom? I mean, Sweepy. Sticky? I like Sticky. Maybe Sweepy or Sleepy Sweepy. Anything fun? Swiffer.
Actually,
what do they call them? Swiffer? Like, do you know, is it a boy or a girl broom? Did you ever check under its whatever those bottom things are, the wicker parts?
I don't think it has that.
I don't know. I don't know a lot about brooms or even mimics. I've heard about them. Sound terrifying. One day you go to
take the broom out. Is there?
Just look under the little.
Are you asking if the broom has a dick? I thought you were going to ask me if the broom has a dick.
on the little missile. Is there anything? Is there like a little mouth?
I don't know if it's like
stick and a mimic. It's a stick bug.
A Stimmick. Name him Stimmick. Or
is it reacting at all to this conversation?
How about
it's shivering slightly.
Brimmick.
That's all.
What about Brimmick? That's a good name, Brimmick. It's strong. It sounds like something a dwarf would name his like third favorite child.
Sweepy McSweeperson.
All right, Sarah's gonna feel like an idiot, but she's gonna ask it if it wants to be named Brimmick. And
It doesn't seem to respond.
All right. Well,
right, I'm just gonna name it Brimmick then. That's fine.
Brimmick, that's nice. I like that. So, anyways, this is our humble abode. We've turned some of the downstairs area. There's a place we can take baths, and there's fully stocked cheese, food, bread, and I'm gonna kind of, I guess, lead Nazim into the middle of it. And there's our friend Abraham helps keep the entire place together and tidy, and helps make us some food if we need to.
He's an excellent cook.
Excellent. Do I have my own room here, or do I just pick a room?
I think you have your own room. There's a few floors. I'm pretty sure there's an available room, right? I know on this map,
Maybe.
can we see more than one floor? I think we only see
Yeah,
one floor.
I put all the floors in here, so you guys can look around. You guys then, Nazim, as they're, were you guys riding the broom across, or were you walking in the snow?
Well, I'm walking in the snow, just trudging through it.
Becky, you were, or Sarah, you were.
She was walking until we started to have this conversation, and now she's riding.
Okay. All right. Then Nazim, you see them doing such across the central courtyard here that has been just completely destroyed. Like it probably would have been a nice, smooth, wintry atmosphere here, covered in snow. But there are almost like a bombed up snowy beach, like not Normandy, Bastogne, where there's basically looks like the whole place has been shelled almost. There's just big holes all over the place, and the snow is basically brown with all the dirt that has been thrown back into it. Like they just keep digging all over in here. As which the discussion they were having, of course, you kind of piece together why. But you make your way over to the eastern side. Just inside of the wall is this kind of. It's not a huge keep, but basically a smaller, central keep inside the walls here, and they have brought you to the front doors here. You see the loopholes in the sides there, the arrow slit and loopholes, and then the murder holes above. Clearly looks defensible.
It's not bad. It's as long as you stay outside the middle central area, it's you can light a fire, stay warm, you can have a bath, make some food. Honestly, we haven't really spent much time here. This is more of a on the times when we're not out trying to help these people through our, brave deeds. We just kind of come here for maybe a night. But anyways, so me and Sarah, I was curious earlier. You said you didn't know anyone in back in Vabi. It didn't seem like you were telling the truth. I didn't want to throw you under the bus there with everyone in that room, but I mean, why don't you tell us what's going on just so we feel like we can trust you in our home?
Yeah. I mean, if it's super personal, it's fine.
That was telling the truth. I have no more ties left to my old life. That old life is gone to me, so I have no more ties.
So, when you say that, like you still know people there, you're just not associated with them anymore?
Everyone of importance is no longer on this plane. It's no longer here.
So, like, if you ran into a really old friend and they asked you for help, you'd just ignore them?
I have no more friends. They're no longer here.
Does our insight check keep playing through, or we do another one to see if he's lying now?
It's been long enough. You would need another one, and it's a different question too.
Yeah, I'll do an insight check. I'm curious.
And Sako, you know what to do.
Damn it!
Either perception or another natural one.
Womp womp. Oh wait, rerolled a 1 to a 2.
Wait.
No, mine
auto. You're
rerolled.
within 30 feet.
Oh, you're going to use your reaction for him also?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
You know what?
Oh shit!
I'll use my reaction for you also. Let's we're gonna halfling break this
that's
shit.
Funny. Yeah, really. You guys just stacking rerolls like that.
Not great. Still,
Yeah.
I only got 10.
Honestly, you guys can't get a read on him. Like you feel like you can't tell whether he's telling the truth or not right now.
All right. Well, okay, Nazim. Just know that if things go sideways, that we don't want you to get hurt. We don't want ourselves to get hurt. We're just trying to make sure everyone stays as safe as possible. Now, would you guys
If
like
things go
to
sideways, I'll make sure you won't feel it. Don't worry.
Don't
What?
like that. All right. Well,
This is our
why
home
don't you go? Is that home?
for now.
And I'm gonna be like, all right, guys, come back in about 10 minutes, and you're gonna see something really cool. And I'm gonna go in the middle, and I'm going to kind of like put my hands out into the air, and I'll just be like, "Well, I would
Oh, you're
walk
going into the courtyard?
500 miles, and I would walk 500 more." And I'm gonna sing that song for 10 minutes and cast my new spell.
Okay. As you
While
guys
he's
step
doing
in,
that,
Pogo.
Sarah's gonna go get food.
Okay. Pogo singing the song as you guys make your way in. You see Abraham inside the courtyard. He, smiles as you enter.
I'm not even saying hi to Abraham. I'm just walking
you're
straight
still
in and
singing.
start singing. Like a fucking weirdo.
He says, Lieutenant Strings told me you would be coming back, so I started to get things ready. The fires are lit. I wasn't really sure what to start for dinner. It's still awfully early, so if you have something in mind, I can begin.
Anything you want would be fantastic, but I'm gonna go get me some bread or something because I'm starving.
Oh, by all means. He walks over there and holds the door open for you. I didn't put walls on here, by the way, guys, because I didn't want to block it all off so Sako can actually see the place without having to, walk through the whole place to check rooms and shit. I'll put the walls in later.
I'm assuming that's a kitchen.
Yeah, that's a kitchen. Technically, it's a dining room, but yeah.
But to be the man who's walked 500 miles.
Water.
Okay. All right, Pogo and Nazim going to get some lunch then. Or sorry, Nazim and Sarah then. Pogo, you're going to stand in the middle of the courtyard by yourself singing this song?
In the cold, standing by myself, singing for
Right.
10 minutes.
All right. Then in that case... On repeat. Yeah, that song probably isn't very long. That's going to be multiple instances of it.
Loud, too. It's going to be kind of obnoxious. Like they can hear me inside.
I don't remember what I need to do to drop this without it being visible for everybody. So do me a favor, Sarah and Becky and Sako, close your eyes for a quick.
No. I can just describe it, and then you can just.
Well, I mean, I'm going to drop it on there. I was trying to hide it first, but I didn't remember how to hide it beforehand. So go ahead.
So you guys hear kind of that magical energy sound, and you start hearing these large flapping wings coming from the middle of the courtyard. And as you kind of look out, you see materializing in front of you is this large griffin that's like from the just kind of appears in front of me. And then I finish my singing, and he's just now kind of like coming up, and I'm just coming and like rubbing him on his upper front chest area, just patting him down. Who's a good griffin? Who's a good griffin? Oh yes. Ta-da! What do you think of this?
No,
I'm gonna look at
we
Sarah
all
and
have
say,
pets.
"Brought us lunch."
Oh, we have pets, but my pet can fly.
So can one of mine.
And my pet can see my pet, and I'm going to check underneath it, and I'm going to say it's a boy. Mine has genitals.
Right, yeah, mine's a girl.
That makes it a little bit better. See?
Okay, you do realize Sarah has 3 pets, right? She has a broom, which is a mimic, which is technically a creature. She has a hellhound, which is female and a creature, and then she has an owl. I have a fox that I could change into any other creature I would like.
Yeah. And now I have
And
a
a healing
griffin that I can
spirit.
fly around on.
Norak is the only one that doesn't have any.
Seriously,
and Nazim.
I was telling Nazim now too. I was telling Justin this the other day that you fuckers have 10 goddamn pets that I have to keep track of. Literally 10 amongst the party, and Norak has 0 and Nazim has 0. So where are the rest of these going? That's all on you guys.
I will
keep
track
collecting
of
animals.
Okay, wait. How do we have 10? Where's this 10 coming from?
Technically, the last one is a bag of holding, so it's 9 plus a bag of holding. But it's Spiritual Banjo, Shan, Sai, Pinocchio, Noctua, your Healing Spirit, now this Griffin, your Floating Disc, the Broom of Flying, and the bag of holding.
Okay, to be fair, the floating disc I used it once. The healing spirit I use it almost every time, and Sai is just adorable.
It's fine. I'm not honestly handling these. There's nothing to it. It takes 2 seconds to put an actor together. I'm just saying that you guys collect creatures.
Just be glad we haven't
So-
found a pet shop.
Yeah,
Do you guys want to see something even cooler as well?
Yes.
Why don't you introduce yourself to these nice people? And I'm gonna kind of tell it to turn around, and it's just gonna open its beak and be like, "Well, hello, my name is Griffin." Because he can
can't
talk.
No, it can't.
Are you sure?
It has an intelligence of 2. It can't communicate.
So check this out though. On the spell, instead of its normal creature type, additionally, if it has an intelligence score of 5 or lower, its intelligence becomes 6. And
Oh,
it gains
shit,
the ability
okay.
to understand one language. Oh wait, it can't talk. It can understand, but it can't talk.
Okay, that's still
Oh,
cool.
but it can't communicate with me telepathically, so it understands a language.
Oh,
So I actually just tell it, and I'm going to telepathically tell it to kind of bow to you, and so he bows to you. That's pretty neat.
By the way, guys, Justin texted me this like 15 minutes before game time. Like, here's what I want to do. So I threw this together super fast. I didn't actually get to read the spell and stuff. But
that's pretty amazing.
So does like he stay with you forever, or do you have to like?
I mean, until he dies. If he passes away, I have to. It will. Don't worry. It won't happen. It won't happen.
It looks slightly irritated, but lets you like itch behind its ears.
Yeah, I'm just. Oh, he's such a good griffin. No, so he just stays here, and you know what's even needed? I don't even need any incense or anything. I just have to use that magical song for 10 minutes.
It turns its head, like he turns its head, like kind of rotating it, like a bird. It's an eagle's head, so it doesn't have to move its shoulders. It just turns its head in your direction. Says, "And really, Griffin? You're naming me Griffin."
No. What do you want to be? What do you want to be called, Griffin? I just summoned you here to this plane of existence. I don't know. We need a strong name for you.
Until 10 minutes ago, I didn't have a name. I don't. What you call me? Whatever you'd like.
All right, it's going to be a good one though. We'll figure out a good name for you.
Name him Peter.
Can I pet it?
Peter Griffin?
These are your name's Peter Griffin. We'll call you Peter.
Nazim's just gonna do a golf clap.
I'm just gonna call him Peter.
Golf clap.
So this is Peter, and Peter, I'd like you to meet my friend Serafina and this guy Nazim. And for right now, she's a good friend.
My friend Sarah and this guy Nazim.
So they're you'll be seeing a lot of them, and so know that they're your friends.
He lifts his beak up and kind of sniffs in your direction.
I'm pretty sure I can turn into one of you now, so maybe we should go flying sometime.
Do you want to learn? Do you need to study, Peter? Do you need to
Do I want to learn
like
what?
he'll be around? Do you need to study him or like keep an eye on him to learn how to turn into him? Or is that just something else you can do?
Nope, it's just something I can do now.
Well, this is exciting. I'm so excited that you are here with me, Peter. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
He walks in a big old circle, and then you see him. The wings kind of splay out wide over its back, and then buffets the floor, throwing snow up in Sarah's face, and he lifts up off the ground and just starts flapping his wings, kind of hovering there.
All right. Do you want to, Peter? Why don't you just kind of go fly above and see? Stay inside the castle grounds area. Can you fly okay in the snow, or is it too snowy for you?
I feel okay right now.
All right.
Up there, I don't know that I can go too high. It looks pretty tough up there.
Don't go too high. Just do a quick little. Wait, you know what? Better stay down here. I'm gonna go inform everyone so I don't shoot you down, because I forgot that there's people here who don't know about you yet. So maybe stay below our little keep's walls, okay?
The kind of raptor eyes squint at you, confused.
Nazim just gonna snap his fingers like he just missed an event.
Seeing Justin's new Griffin get shot down.
I'm gonna
new toy.
Go tell people, and then we're gonna go fly for a bit, and I'm gonna turn into a griffin and go flying with him.
All right.
Well, hold on. Let me tell people. I'm gonna just scurry off to go tell, let everyone know as fast as I can. It's gonna take a minute.
Yeah, little Lobo can't run super fast either.
Yeah, all the main lieutenants and things.
I'll give him a minute. I'm still eating my bread.
I have a pet griffin. Okay, I'm gonna go tell Pepperjack and all the main lieutenants and things I can see around that there's a griffin that we have that's going to be flying around, so don't be scared.
Yeah, don't kill those griffins when you see them flying around.
Yeah, don't shoot them. They're friend griffins.
I'm changing your token real quick, Becky.
What am I concentrating on? It says that
it's your spell.
I don't know. It said I'm concentrating on something.
You're probably concentrating on turning yourself into polymorph. Yeah, it's a concentration spell.
Cast a spell while concentrating on another spell. It says. So I don't know what I was concentrating on before.
Oh, you mean that it already had concentrating on for you? Okay.
Got it.
I don't. You didn't have anything I knew of that you were concentrating on, so don't worry about it. You just click it and disregard or whatever the option is for it.
Okay.
Wait, so is Serafina a perfect replica of the griffin?
So
It's only a large
It's-
creature,
it's up
so it's
to-
not that big.
yeah, it's up to in fact, actually, is there? I got to look at that spell too. Is there a limit? There's got to be a CR limit, right?
It's whatever your level is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's
she can
equal
go up to
to my level.
CR10, which, by the way, if you're curious, really fucking strong.
Yeah.
Real strong.
Well, you guys,
Although
okay, you may not understand how far you are in the game. Very
Well,
few
pretty-
campaigns get to level 10.
Yeah.
Like, either people start in the middle, it might get there, but otherwise, almost nobody, actually goes this way, or let alone all the way to 20, like we did for balance, and will be for this one.
While everyone is
Griffin?
outside
Yeah.
comparing the size of their griffins, Nazim's just going to walk back in and talk to Abraham.
Okay.
The
Griffin's
highest I
only
could find
CR2
was
shit.
6.
Yeah, Griffin. I mean, they only have 60 HP, but it's still.
Yeah,
pretty
it's only CR2, so she definitely can. Okay. All right, then
Only
Sarah,
red.
you're being a red-colored Griffin.
Yeah, match my hair.
Okay.
Especially since I'm not in shadowy form.
Is that a? But yeah, let's not make it too hard on Jeremy to.
I actually can put a filter on it that
I
would
was gonna
literally
say.
turn it red. So,
That's
like, I
true.
was looking for it right now. It is tint color.
Okay, so is she like a perfect replica of it, or am I gonna have to study the original
Oh, I see
one?
what you're asking for the intents of whether or not you could study it from her rather than
Yeah, depending, because she might be friendlier. We weren't
Maybe.
introduced yet, and I won't know when I'm going to be introduced, but I will want to get that shape because,
Yeah, it's only
that's
CR2.
a flying bird, definitely. And I think I have flying, but I don't have many flying forms yet, so...
That's I could probably kind of zone it in a little bit to get a better color, but kind of a
That's good enough.
reddish orange color there. Anyways,
Apparently
it is
I lost
replica
connection.
enough. Okay, Fox. Yeah, I see you got dropped there. You're not here, but yeah, if somebody is polymorphed into it. It is a proper representation of the creature.
Okay, sorry, I lost connection for a bit there, so everything went, like, really quiet.
No problem. So, in answer to that, yes, for Fox, anyways, that if Artemis studies the Griffin or any other form, if Sarah turns into it, then you would be able to do so.
Perfect, okay, thank you.
Yeah, she
I'm going
has
to do that first chance I get.
Okay. Yeah, she has
You can do
polymorph,
so much.
yeah, there's a shit ton of stuff that she can study. So, anyways, then Sarah and P tier Griffin are you lift up over the sides of the kettle keep here. The second floor of it actually is up through the ceiling, or there's up to the sky rather. You can actually go up and outside from where you are right there in the middle. But you lift up over the top. You see little pogo feet running as fast as it can, trying to out into the courtyard, trying to kind of flag people down, waving his arms up in the air, trying to get attention to tell them not to shoot down the two griffins that just lifted up over it. You head up a good ways. The actual portal where the snow is coming in from. The higher up you go, the more and more ice is starting to settle on your wings, getting it harder and harder to fly. But you still manage to do so. This is a very liberating experience because I'll tell you that while you are in this form, although you still have your bits and parts of some of your personality, you are not you can't speak and you don't have your normal senses. Is how I'll say that. The reason so
I'm not afraid of heights anymore.
that's it. That's exactly it. You're not afraid of heights while you're doing this. You just can't really. It's not registering directly with your normal Sarah until you're out of this form. I don't know if you know this, but remember let's just say that if you saw a rabbit fly by, you probably would have trouble restraining yourself. In fact, actually, griffins are specifically famous for killing horses. So there are not any nearby that you see, but anyways, you would have the urges and instincts of the griffin as well, and be very difficult to fight those off. But
Yep.
you also don't have the fear of flying. Yeah.
And she's probably going to freak out once she turns back. So it's fine.
But certainly a liberating experience, kind of lifting up over this. Even with P tier here, you don't go super high, but flying around the kind of just above the main part of the Crow Fort. Not really able to. You can't really go up as high as the infirmary. It's just too cold there. But kind of flying around the outside, easily able to see out over the ramparts and see the place still surrounded in all directions by this just massive army of the Vabian Legion. But certainly fun enough anyways while you're still inside here and not within an arrow shot of them.
Would I be intelligent enough to figure out if the army looks bigger than it did last time?
With a 2, no, almost certainly not. Yeah, that's basically animal instincts. You can recognize that it's large, but you wouldn't be able to square that with what it was before until you kind of are back to your normal form.
Oh, okay, so she doesn't keep her intelligence when she swaps like I do.
Yeah, so that's the main difference there. Wild shape, you still have your mental stats along with the creature's physical stats. With polymorph, it's all the animal.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so she'll once she's back, she'll remember it, and then she can kind of put that data together. But while she's still in this animal form, she does not have her normal self, which is a very important distinction, especially when it comes to things like, if she sees a horse, she's going to have to roll very high to not be instinctually drawn to killing the horse or whatever instincts it might be for the creature that she's occupying.
Makes it so much more fun.
By the way, I put a list of all the creatures you can because you can only you can only polymorph into beasts. But I put the CR rating of some of the top beasts on the Discord, so you can see what you could polymorph into.
There you go.
Well, thank you. I already have a list started too.
Okay.
Yeah, Becky always does her research when it comes to that kind of stuff.
So do I.
There
I did my research on Druid.
Yeah. So that's the list of beasts, and it is supposed to be limited to just beasts. But there are I would put it this way: the classifications in the books are intended when you're thinking of them as enemies, right? But when you're thinking of it as a natural world, if the griffins are a natural creature, they would be a beast. They wouldn't be a magical thing. They wouldn't be a monstrosity. At least in this case, certainly in my setting, anyway, they would be just a natural animal. Yeah. They're not magical or otherwise special beyond that, and therefore, in my case, they would be classified, at least for the purposes of polymorph, as a beast, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're not they're not a lion or an eagle. They're an actual creature, so they're not a blending of the two. So their eating habits would be different, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, they're not like something like a sphinx, for example, which is basically the same general blend of animals. That is an intelligent magical creature, totally separate. You couldn't do that. Something like a griffin is just literally a creature that lives in the mountains and hunts like any other animal. So at least for the purposes of my setting here, that all these games are played in, it is a creature that you guys could use in this way. Okay. So over to Nazim, you float in and see Abraham is at the table there, like a counter, chopping up chunks of meat. And when you float in, he kind of very hesitantly turns his head slightly in your direction and looks out of the corner of his eye at you. And then immediately, as soon as as he's turning his head, he's having to pass over your feet, sees that your feet are not touching the ground, and immediately kind of snaps his head back and just looks right back down. I'm afraid I don't know your name yet, sir.
I am Nazim.
Nazim, if you're hungry, and he kind of, without looking, he kind of leans his hand backwards, holding the knife, just a butcher knife, not a weapon really, and kind of points backwards towards the fireplace. I've left some sandwiches out if you're hungry, and he's clearly avoiding looking at you.
Just some simple bread and water would be fine. Could you just point me to where I might find this?
I mean, I've used most of it with the sandwiches, but you're welcome to, take them off.
Perfect. One more question. Honey. Do you have any honey? My palate is no longer used to spices or flavors, but honey is one thing I am craving.
I believe there's a jar of it in the cellar, sir. I'll give me just a moment. I'll go get it for you. He sets the knife down and walks down the stairs.
I'll start picking apart the sandwiches, taking just the bread.
Okay. And then leaving everything else like an asshole.
Just the bread.
You hear rummaging down below. He comes back up holding what looks like a jug anyways, but from your distance you can even smell that that's what it must be. Without looking at you, he kind of still intentionally turning his head away from you, kind of holds it out in your direction. Here you are, sir.
That's quite a bit of honey you have there.
I'm afraid
you must have some local hives.
To be honest, I follow the crow blinders wherever we go. I don't know that we have much of an apiary. It's just our stores. I assume that they restock it when we return back to town. I don't know.
All right, I'll just take some of the little bit of the honey and just smear one of the pieces of bread with honey.
Okay. Give me an insight check. All right. Oh, interesting. I thought you guys could still see the dice. So if he rolls a, like Nazim and I know what he rolled because it was a GM roll, of course. But you guys can't see the actual die when he rolls it as a GM roll.
No.
It doesn't show the shadow or anything. You don't
Nope.
even see that there was a roll. Oh, interesting. I thought
We
you
just
still
hear
see
it.
So. Okay.
You hear it, but that's it.
Gotcha. Okay. Never mind. You rolled real shitty, so you don't notice anything abnormal other than he's clearly nervous.
All right, I'll take my honey-covered bread and my water and just float in the back, eating the bread, just staring at him.
Okay. Then after you take the jug from him, he turns his back to you and picks the knife back up and resumes cutting up the steak. Okay. Nazim's going to be eating his bread sandwich. Pogo, you've managed to alert enough people. The griffins are flying around in all directions. But
Those up there, don't shoot them. Don't shoot them down.
The soldiers that are in the middle of the courtyard, even those that you didn't manage to get to, saw, basically kind of gathered what you were trying to do when you were, arms waving and yelling in the middle of the courtyard. But many of them are kind of standing still, arms on the top of their shovel kind of shoved down into the snow while they kind of lean on it, just resting for a moment, just looking up at the griffins flying around, watching them, following them with their eyes.
Yeah, no, they're fine as long as you don't look like a horse. You're fine. Do I see, when I'm running around telling people, do I see the bug brigade?
They are the area where they were. There are still boxes there. There's like wooden crates that are in the snow there, but they're not there. Neither the Iskil or not the Cricks rather, or the shell themselves.
I would like to look around that area and see if they've left any of their explosive devices.
Give me a perception. Shit. So as you approach, heading over that way, you hear a familiar voice, male, human, shout, "Oi! I know you'd like to go digging, but I'm afraid I've been told not to."
Is that Strings? Who's talking to me?
Sure is. That's Strings.
Hey, Strings! I recognize your voice.
Hey, good to see you. Glad you guys made it back safely.
That's not too bad. Look up. See those? Those are.
He's still staring at you. He's still staring right at you.
Cool one is my pet.
He refuses to look up, still staring at you. He says, "I'm afraid I know some of your tricks, and I'm not looking up. I'm not going to allow you to go digging in these things and stealing some of their munitions."
Oh, the bombs? Well, they said I
bombs.
could have a couple. Last time when we spoke, they said I could have a few of them. I mean, they did it in that weird clickety-clack bug thing, but that's what I gathered.
I'm afraid I've been told not to let you have them. So if you were told such a thing, you're going to have to get it straight from them.
Where are they? Are they?
Pepperjack asked them to fly out for something. I don't know. He didn't tell me.
Do I see them down there having a conversation?
You do see. You know what? Actually, with the Griffin's eyes, you would definitely be able to pick out the details. So that's definitely Lieutenant Strings, who still does not want to be a lieutenant. Remember, he's the one that threatened to punch somebody just to get demoted. So you see Strings and Pogo talking. Yes.
Right, and I noticed Pogo pointing up at us and him not looking.
Yes.
I will fly down and land right in front of him and just kind of squawk in his face and just look at him like, "Hello," right here in front of you.
Oh, so this is this was your trick. This is what you were trying to use to get me distracted enough to let you steal some things. I mean, it's a cool illusion and all, but you got to try after harder than that.
I'm gonna push him in the chest with my head.
What is happening? I'm gonna telepathically tell my Griffin to come down as well.
Tell Pete here to fly down. Okay.
Peter,
right.
Hey, Peter, just fly down here and hang out with us.
He lands in the snow as well. I mean, you can tell. Look, I appreciate how much effort you're putting into this little man, but I'm still not going to let you do it, even if she bumps me like that.
No, I mean, it's not. I'm not. But this is mine. I don't even know what that Griffin is. That's who knows who that is. This is my pet right here. This is Peter.
I'm gonna drop it and be like, "Really? You want me to turn into this?"
You can't talk. I don't think.
No,
she said drop it. Yeah, so she
turned back into herself. Insulted.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, that's right. He forgot from 30 seconds earlier. So then, seeing Sarah reapparate into her normal halfling form, feet kind of buried up to the knees in the snow, he says, "Oh, well, Lady Sarah, I apologize. I thought this was just one of his little tricks. He's been trying to steal from." So I'm glad to see you guys have made it back safely.
I'm trying to steal this. I'm very curious. I mean, I've spoke with some people. I've never stolen these things before.
You remind me of the kind of people with let's say light fingers. So what is this one?
I'm tiny. Of course, I've got light fingers. Look at me. I'm only 3 feet tall.
He kind of reaches a hand out towards Peter, kind of getting ready to like tap it on the beak. So is this one an illusion then?
No, this is real. Be nice to Strings. This is also our friend Peter. This is our friend Strings. He's a nice enough fellow as well.
Kind of scowls a little bit.
I'm going to walk outside to see what's going on in this commotion.
Yeah, you definitely would have heard this happening of the two griffins kind of landing and everything.
I'm gonna telepathically just kind of tell him to like start nuzzling with Strings. Like he's a good bird or mammal, bird.
Griffin or Peter rather looks at you annoyedly and then starts kind of leaning its head over and just pushing in Strings' direction. He's a little bit too tall, so where his beak is pushing into Strings' ear essentially.
He's doing it like lovingly though, like. Nah.
He's trying to. He's just too big, basically, to really be able to kind of cuddle with a human-sized person, and kind of pushing him over. Strings kind of leans up. Okay, and he starts kind of trying to pet him and kind of push his head back so he's not being knocked over, just with the force of this large creature.
All right. Well,
So
I didn't. By the way.
Strings?
Could be better. We at least we haven't had any kind of trying to push Peter's head away again. We haven't had any further hostilities, let's say, with the Vabians, but them still being out there makes it tough to sleep at night. I'll tell you that.
While we're having this conversation, I'm like motioning behind my back because I know what Pogo is trying to do, and I seriously think that these bombs would be useful. So I'm like, get the fuck over there.
So I'm not sure there's much I can do. So I am going to instead basically go up and talk to like, all right, listen, we've helped. I know you're not happy where you're at. I understand, and you understand that we've helped this army out a lot. And right now, these are doing nothing sitting in these boxes, nothing at all. And all I need is a few of them that might help us with our next adventure. Because there are some certain large bad things that we've encountered that this might help with. And, we'll just have Norak hold on to a few, and I'm sure none will be the wiser. And you don't have to worry about it. No one's even going to notice.
He looks at you, he says, listen, Pogo, I appreciate you. You know that. I would happily knock back a few as soon as I'm not on duty, but you really think that there's any amount of convincing you can give that's going to make me go back on my orders? You think I'm going to betray Commander Pepperjack in such a way? Just because you say a few sweet words?
You were
but this order seems... Yeah, this order doesn't seem like it's that even big of an order. This is like...
He heard what Sarah said, and he kind of looks at you, and you see him kind of stuck in place, and there's like a small, like the slightest little grin that crosses his features. I'm looking to get demoted, but I can't give away somebody else's things. These don't belong to us, even, for that matter.
I'm going to float right next to him.
All you have to do is come with us, have a conversation, and just pretend like you never saw Pogo to begin with. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Another new friend of yours, eh?
Yes.
This guy right here.
Hi, Nazim.
So,
I'm Lieutenant Strings, and your friends here are trying to convince me to let them steal.
It's okay. We'll talk to Pepperjack. I'm sure Pepperjack has some sort of understanding with the shell. The bug women, the shell. So we can don't worry, it's fine. We'll be here maybe for a little while. So depending on what happens, we may not even need him. We'll figure it out.
All right,
come on, Peter.
Well, tell you what, when I'm no longer on duty, and you come back here, you can try your wiles on the next idiot that they get stuck out here in the snow watching these stupid boxes. But for now, I've got to do my duty.
That's great. When's your shift end?
Are you sure?
You're just gonna have to keep peeking out the window and checking.
Are you sure you want to endanger the next person on duty like that?
We got this. I'm gonna have Noctua sit on one of the boxes and just keep an eye out and come get me when his shift is over.
Okay, see here, but you guys do know I can now hold 2 spells at once, right? I can turn myself invisible and make myself have, no footprints at all?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking.
The thing is,
sure that
I don't want to do it right now. Yeah. Pogo might come back later, but I'm not saying that. I'm just chance.
He doesn't look particularly phased, Nazim. He actually should have proficiency in that as well, so it would have been a little bit higher even, but it's even a 16.
All right. So, no worries, Strings. Perhaps I'll see you back at the bar here, the tavern area. Maybe we can have a drink, and when you're off work, we can discuss your adventures as a crow blinder and maybe have some fun.
Looking forward to it. And he sits down
So
with the box.
I'm gonna start taking I'm gonna start taking Peter, and I'm gonna walk him back to the Kettle Keep, and I'm gonna get myself some food, and then I'm also gonna get Peter some food, and that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Abraham, when you step in, has some meat, blocks ready to go, so he's able to hand you, give you a big handful of those to feed to Peter, and we'll come back to you guys here in a bit.
Actually, I am not sure if Peter needs to eat. He is not a real thing.
Well, here's the thing. I think I would still treat him as if he was. I think the way that because you summon it, well, the map is within 1 mile of you. You can communicate with it, and it flies in and everything. So I think we will probably treat it. I need to read over the spell a little. I guess it is a spirit. Never mind. It is actually just a spirit that assumes the form of a creature. So never mind. In that case, it would not need to.
Neato.
All right. So we'll come back to you guys in a bit. Back to Arteme and Norok, still up in the infirmary. We'll call it. We'll say that it's been about 2 hours for each of your guys' groups, basically, if that makes sense. Enough time for Arteme to have finished the summoning for Sai. So you now have Sai dancing around your feet again. Happy to see you. It seems like it's been an eternity. It's been at this point probably about 14 hours.
Yeah.
Which for her that's a long time away. You don't usually leave her stuck in the God damn it.
In the dream, but I would have seen her in a trance, but it's still not the same as having her actually here.
Back in the real world, exactly. But she's obviously happy to see you and kind of flitting around, jumping up on people, that kind of stuff, very lightly, of course, not injuring or hurting anybody that's wounded, but kind of causing enough glee around the wounded soldiers as they see this little kitsune fox jumping around. What are you guys up to?
Do the healing spirit work on the other injured?
So the Sako, what you do is click on your token, and then you'll see it'll have a little orange box around it. You see that?
Yeah.
Hold down Shift and then use the arrow keys.
Oh.
When you have yourself selected. Or you can actually, if you move, it'll kind of, move you there. And also, if you hold down Control, I think, then it rotates like real fine points. If you just click yourself and then use the highlight yourself, hold down Shift and then use the mouse wheel, and you can do fine tuning too. There you go, just like that. Nice. Yeah. So the healing spirit you cast and kind of floated amongst the wounded, all of the open wounds, any of them they have, and most of them are already starting to kind of heal and scab over anyways from the most recent skirmish, which was a few days ago at this point. But it's definitely kind of stitching together wounds and the kind of minor abrasions and things like that of most of the soldiers that are in here, as well as those that are other, let's say, environmental type diseases and sicknesses and so on.
I would have upcast it to level 7 with Sage's Course, so would that heal a bit more deeper or not really?
It does. It would be healing a lot more hit points. It doesn't restore like missing limbs and things like that. Yeah, but okay. I mean, there's half of the people in here as you are casting through this are clearly like feeling much better, and maybe another half of those, about a quarter or so, are starting to get up off of the cot and move around a bit more. Like they're probably able to leave the infirmary here today. You think?
Okay, that's good.
How about Norak? What you doing, G?
Just gonna keep up and out for a while, and then probably go find something. Actually, what time is it?
So you guys arrived pretty early in the morning, because you walked south and then teleported here. So it's probably about actually, you guys have been here for 2 hours. It's about noon at this point.
Okay. Well, then
you've already been helping out for a couple hours, so you can continue to if you'd like to, but it's been about 2 hours so far.
I'd go get something to eat.
Okay. That's me too. Yeah, I'm gonna also go eat something.
Are you guys heading to the Kettle Keep? Or are you going to Crow's Nest or what?
Is there any place on the way to the Kettle Keep that would sell incense or have incense?
The quartermaster. Oh. Yeah, she grabbed a little bit there. They were obviously using it. The quartermaster would have more, which is in the basement, in the cellar of the Crow Fort in the main.
Okay, so I'll go grab that and then go get food.
Okay. There's enough of a store down there. The quartermaster doesn't really even question. He says, honestly, we barely use this stuff. We really only keep it on for, the particularly sick, to kind of make it tolerable to be in the same room as them. So grab as much as you need. Just make sure you leave us a little.
Okay.
I would say that space-wise, it's easy enough for you to gather up 5 castings worth.
Okay, I'll do that then. Let me add that to my thing.
Yeah, go ahead and put that in your inventory. You guys heading back to the Kettle Keep then, or are you going to the Crow's Nest?
Yeah.
Tavern.
Kettle Keep.
Okay, then you make your way back. As you walk in, you see, as soon as you step in through the front door, you see Strings in there, who you haven't seen in a while, of course, and Pogo and a Griffin in the middle of the a large Griffin, which Norok Griffin are like a food staple for your people. They are common in White Holler where you're from, and here is this like immaculate looking specimen that would feed at least your family for a good solid 2 weeks if you can take it down real fast.
Don't you dare!
So like when I look at it, it's like on the old cartoons where he just like turns into this chicken leg and it just starts like
That's exactly
flying
it.
around.
Yep.
That's what Norok is seeing right now.
Yeah, you guys have been traveling and haven't had, like basically your immediate thought is, shit, if I could get Mom to cook that thing up, she's not around anymore, but like that's your thought is like, that kind of comfort food style recipe almost. If you could get such a thing, having, seeing this in the middle of the room here.
Some KFG, Kentucky Fried Griffin.
Yeah. Let me remove the concentration. Arteme, you drop, you casted Healing Spirits all the way through and then let it drop, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I forgot how to take that off, actually.
I did, you're fine.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna go, gently go up to the Griffin and just, like, start petting it. And start trying to figure out how to change into it before going to eat, because I'd get distracted.
And it's a little bit smarter than a normal Griffin, so it's an intelligence of 6, so...
Is this your new buddy, Pogo?
Oh, that's my new friend, that's Peter. Oh, so I'm eating food. This is Peter the Griffin.
Peter looks at Pogo and is kind of staring at you intently and like awkwardly eyeing Arteme out of the side of its eyes and then turning its head back at you because it can't move its eyes so easily, so it moves its whole head to focus on Pogo and then
I'm just gonna telepathically. Tell him as Arteme, every time Arteme comes to like pet him, he's just gonna kind of move so his butt faces her like constantly. So like she can't get around, like he just kind of keeps moving to the side so his butt's in front of her head.
Telepathically, he seems extremely confused. Is this some ritual? He doesn't really understand why you're telling him to do this.
Okay, well if he keeps moving around, I'll go eat first.
Okay, you've gotten a pretty good understanding of the butt of Griffin if you wanted to emulate that portion of it. That's the perfect gift to Osaka. I love that one. It's Parks and Rec when Ron Swanson makes his circle desk.
I love it.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm just eating some food.
Okay, Arteme and Norok, you guys going to eat as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Abraham, happy to see you guys. Grabs. He says, "I've got sandwiches ready over there, but I think your strange friend has maybe picked them apart. So just give me a moment, and I'll get some more bread."
All right.
Okay.
Fine.
I'm gonna see the honey jar and go make some tea and give Abraham the fresh venison that I didn't give to, because I'd left some with Leary and I brought like one back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He says, "Oh wow, this looks so much fresher than we're able to even get here. It's been weeks since we've had fresh meat."
I could always go on a hunting trip.
He kind of stands in front of the meat that he's chopping on the table there. Forget I said that. But this will make for some good meals for sure. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
You see that he was chopping meat right behind him after just saying that it's been weeks since they've had fresh meat.
Hey, Ultimate, Serafina, do you guys know if griffins lay eggs?
Would Sarah know that?
Sarah probably not, honestly, unless she's been studying animals. I doubt it. Arteme definitely would know, and they do not.
Okay.
As far as the mammal portion of it, they give live births like a mammal, not an avian.
Oh,
I'm basing that on that their hindquarters. Yeah, I'm basing that on that their hindquarters are the mammal part, not the bird part. So they wouldn't have a cloaca; they'd have normal reproductive organs. So
some myths they do lay eggs, some myths they don't. So take your pick.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on which version of a griffin you're talking about anyways, just because many of them are more bird and less lion and so on and so forth. But as far as the griffins in D&D, they are the hindquarters of a lion and therefore would have mammal parts.
I would talk to Artemis. So, in order for you to turn into a griffin, how long would you have to study it if it was like 100% friendly?
10 minutes?
Oh, that's super easy. Me and you are gonna have a lot of fun because I can turn into something for an hour.
Okay. If it's not friendly, it'll take an hour of like watching it like move around from a safe distance. But if it's friendly, 10 minutes.
I mean,
Yeah,
I like
that's
to think that she's friendly. She's not gonna like try to turn it into something and eat you.
Well,
But she can study your griffin, and then I can turn into something else.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm talking
then-
about like long term. Like you guys could just come up with a plan, whatever, maybe if we're relaxing, you could turn into this and she can study that. And how strong of a
Exactly.
creature can you turn into? Like how strong of a thing can you be, Arteme?
Let me check.
it's in your wild shape.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Okay, it only shows up to level 8. Like
Level
animals.
CR, yeah, it's so the highest that it goes for you is CR1 actually, and a
Oh,
griffin
Yeah, I was
is
gonna
CR2.
say 8 is
Okay.
real high.
Yeah. So
That's a
so
giant
griffin-
eagle.
Yeah, I mean, we can make exceptions where it makes sense. Part of the reason that the griffin would normally be higher is because it's a monstrosity, not a beast. But since these are, we're treating them as beasts, I would say that could potentially be in your wheelhouse with more time. But anyways, yeah, the limit for land druids, the kind that you chose, is CR1 is the highest level creature you can use.
Okay, yeah. 1, then whatever that means. I'm not really sure what that means, actually.
But it still might be. I mean, it's not quite as strong. Like she can turn into like a T-Rex, like a giant, or so I heard once when I was
Yes.
when I was performing on the west coast of the large body of water we're next to many years ago.
Leodord.
It's gonna be lots of
Yep.
fun.
So, what is everyone here now?
Yeah, the whole group is here. Strings is still here, sitting on the box. He's outside. but
Wait, she's
nearby.
in Kettlekeep. He's
No,
outside.
he's outside sitting on the box. It's literally so I don't know if you remember this, but where the shell are is literally right outside the kettle keep on the left.
All right.
It's between the kettle keep front door and the front gates of the Crow Fort.
So, how long, Arteme, did you learn how long it might take for Maybe to get, stitched back up?
It'll take quite a while with her injuries. Her arms were regrowing from scratch. Her eyes are regrowing, and one of her legs is completely regrowing, so it'll take quite a while.
All right. So, let's see. What else do we have to do in this meantime? I feel like, Serafina, didn't you have something that you said you needed to do?
Becky?
What's the date today?
It is Towers Day, the 24th of Harvestry.
Right, so I've got like a month still?
3 months. No, still 3 months.
Really?
Hellsborough is
Wow.
the end of the year. It's basically the end of September now, and you have until the end of the year.
Okay,
And,
well, I've got
exactly-
something I'd like to do, but I have 3 months to get it done.
Now, okay, hang on. Let me say that's when you have to do it by. But Corin Santalis has told you that he wants you to do it now. Like he's
So, I
trying to
mean-
rush you to do it, but yeah, you basically still have a little while. Go ahead.
Is this something that we can all go and, hang out while you're doing it? Or is this more of a you thing?
Well, I mean, Hyreth is by the capital, right?
It's in the forest near the capital. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, you guys could hang out at the capital while I get this done, because I'm pretty sure you guys can't go in with me.
Well, maybe
I
we
want
can
to
make
go
sure
look for
you-
Clover anyway.
Aye, so we could maybe look for Clover. Honestly, we might have to go talk to Pepperjack a bit about the Clover situation just to find out all the details. But I mean, that's an option. We could go there and we can see about the Clover situation. And I would feel more comfortable if we at least got you to the place you were doing this thing. It seems like the world's become a bit more dangerous than it used to be. Might be nice to make sure you at least arrive at your. Was it a test you have to take? What was it you were saying?
Yeah, it's a test.
So maybe if
Hopefully
we'll
it goes
just.
well, because if it doesn't, it'll be really bad.
All right. Well, I mean, we can at least get you there and make sure everything's okay before we just send you off to whatever questionable items and things might happen to you. I don't want to send you off to just to make sure you're safe.
Yeah, we also need to do some shopping.
Shopping would be nice, and I feel like the capital's a much better. I mean, here their blacksmith's fine if you need to create something, but all they have is a blacksmith and they don't have a store. They just have kind of this military, basically a small assortment of little military essentials, but nothing greater than that. We need to get your broom fixed too.
Yes.
I'm sorry. What was his name? What do we name him? Sweepy
Brimmick.
McSweeperson? Brimmick.
Brimmick.
So we got to get Brimmick fixed. We got to get him unlobotomized or whatever's happened.
Yeah, he's broken. We should be able to do that in the capital.
Where I'm from, we had fantasy Costco's. Do they have fantasy Costco's?
Actually, everybody,
Costco's?
hang on one sec. Named the vast erudition. You guys would have heard about a store named Fantasy Costco because with the download, remember the vast erudition, everybody was downloaded this information. The Collegium Statera, the group that prevented the hunger from swallowing the world. Anyways, there was a store on their little moon base essentially called Fantasy Costco. So when Nazim says this, you guys are aware of what he's referring to.
Wait, actually.
So Pogo, being a traveling entertainer, he may have been to the capital. What would you say? Based off
whether he would know a Fantasy Costco there? No.
No.
You
whether he would know the shops that are there. Like
you can find just about anything in the capital. Yeah, I mean you can find like the best artificers are there. I mean, literally the best craftsmen of any sort are going to be there in the capital. It's the capital of the richest nation on the planet. So, of course, you would find everything there, essentially.
So I suppose the next thing is we will have to talk to, if this is what our plans are going to be, is there anyone else that wants to go do anything else? Anything other than that?
Norak, I sent you a message in there. That's important.
How about you, Nazim? I know you're new to the group, but is there anything weighing on your mind? Any places you need to see, things you need to do? May be more dangerous for us to go, or safer for us to go together as opposed for you to go at it alone?
My vote is for the shops. I do need a few things, maybe.
Okay,
All
so
right, I'm going to tell you this though. When we go there, you've got to do something about your appearance. You maybe give yourself a nice haircut. Make your face look
like a face.
Not like you're dying.
Like this. Yeah, it's something. It's not. I mean, I don't mind. I'm getting used to it. But the people there, like, we're going to be going to a big city, and I hate dealing with the man. The guards, the big city. Sometimes they don't like the cut of my jib.
Yeah, well, if we could do things with our face, I'm sure you would have done something with yours.
I do things with mine all the time. Look, and I'm gonna just use my hat to make myself a slightly more attractive version of myself and make myself a foot taller. See, all the time I do this.
okay,
It's perfectly fine.
While Pogo's distracted, I'm gonna go finish studying the griffin.
Okay. You step out there, and as soon as you do, the griffin turns back around, aiming its butt at you again.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Pogo gave it instructions to do this every time that you tried to study it. Honestly, you can still, if you spend a little longer, if you spend 20 minutes, you'll be able to kind of gather.
Okay, I'm gonna study it from afar.
Okay.
You gotta roll for stealth.
It's just sitting there.
You gotta try to sneak around him so he can't see you.
He sits down in the snow, butt facing you, just kind of sitting there, kind of turning his head at you occasionally.
So I'm gently gonna go around it and just go over here and then just keep studying it far away.
Sure. Sipping your tea, studying this griffin who keeps aiming its butt at you. Ben, did you see that message? Ben?
He might be muted.
Can you
No,
hear
he's
me?
not muted. Yep. Oh,
There
his
you go.
headset
Oh,
might have
okay,
been.
sorry.
Okay.
I was muted. Yeah, I actually did. So I'm going to tell them that I need to go take care of Bobo's bones anyway, so I need to go back by my village.
Whose bones? What do you need to do?
Oh, you weren't with us. So Nora
family
wasn't by
member.
himself.
A family member and member of my tribe who passed away not too long ago. We need to go do his burial rites. Old.
How far away is the
traditional
burial
graveyard.
rites? How far away
It's
do you have
on-
to go for those?
I'm gonna have to, split off unless you guys want to go with me. But it is on the way to the capital, so we can mostly travel together.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, Ozzy has a way to get us to or near the capital. and then from there, that'll save us the travel time from having to go up, and then we can go and. I believe, I could be wrong. Do you guys remember? I think it was when he was sending us down to Elf Island.
Yeah, he can take us. He can get us to the capital. Question: would I know where Norak is talking about? That he needs to bury the bones.
Yes, because Eifelstead, where you're from, where God damn it, the name of your village outside of Eifelstead. I can't remember.
Shit,
Fruit
hang on, I got it
Lupia.
written down.
Yeah, I have it in the notes. I just don't remember it off the top of my head.
Dunfield.
There you go. Dunfield is right outside of Eifelstead, and that's just a ways northeast of the Antaros tribal lands. The areas he's from are between the Cork and Kerry Mountains. It's called White Holler, and that's the Antaros tribal area.
Okay.
I knew Justin would recognize that. Ben should get it too. Ben should know what that is.
Met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting.
Is that actually a thing, or is that just from that song?
No,
Cork
Cork.
Kerry Mountain's actually a thing.
Well, okay, so Cork and Kerry are two counties in Ireland.
Yeah, okay.
The mountains, yeah, it's an Irish drinking song. It's literally the Cork and Kerry Mountains are the two mountains that kind of cross the county line there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's called Whiskey in the Jar.
Whiskey in the Jar, yeah.
Yes.
Well, Metallica covered it. Ben for sure knows it.
Yeah,
Sure,
it was Thin Lizzy before that, but obviously it was like a really old Irish drinking song. I have no fucking idea where it actually came from.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it was just on garaging. So, go ahead.
Would Sarah know? Could she fly there and back in 3 hours?
No,
flying
way too
time?
far for that. No.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, if the flying speed was high enough, but definitely not in the Broom or anything, or even in a Griffin or anything of that sort. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty far. So the map I just shared, everybody see the Caliodoran map?
Yep.
So the sea there, you guys are actually in the very top right corner. So you see that the black bar on the right, and that little itty bitty map that's on the far right.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We're way up in the top right.
Yeah, so that top right one, that's the Badlands area. That in fact, there's the Borderlands here. This area that has changed the main section to, that's that map. So you guys can see where you guys are. You guys are in that little itty bitty point there at the northeast corner of the Caliodoran Sea. Now, where
by looking at this map, how fucking far away we are from the capital.
Yeah, I mean, the capital is the big map that's on the kind of top part that's turned on its side a little bit. The city at the northern part of that's Mist. That's the capital there. And then the islands that you guys just came from are the map that's on the far left side that, are off in the sea. That's the Gwynsair, the islands that you just came from. Becky, Eifelstead, the other map that's in kind of the middle part of that is Eifelstead, where Dunfield is. And Norok's tribe is where the Antaros dot is to the left of that.
Okay.
And Arteme, yours, where you got picked up at Arteme, is Curtin off to the right of that. If you see that in the Estermark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's a real shitty map. I'm real awful at map making, but the smaller maps are a little bit more detailed, of course. I just pasted them on the bigger world map to show you guys where the stuff is. I'll go ahead and switch it back to Kettlekeep now. So that's basically the kind of arrangement of where everything is. Yeah, go ahead. You guys have some other details that are kind of important. That teleporting directly into the Empire proper is probably going to be difficult. Remember.
Yeah.
Remember, the Crowblinders are outlaws right now.
Right, so maybe we should go talk to Ozzy and Pepperjack and find out how close they can get us to either where Norog needs to go or where the capital is.
Yep.
I say we can figure it out. We also need to ask him about Clover. Hey, Nazim, do you mind staying here for just a few minutes while we go talk? It's, once, he trusts you a little bit more, we'll be able to invite you into this little meeting, but we'll just have to give it a little bit of time. Will that be all right for you?
I'll just wave my hand and just roll my eyes and walk away. Yes.
Float away?
Yeah, float
All
away.
right.
Give me 10 minutes, guys. I'm going to go to the front of the Kettlekeep, and in front of the door, I'm going to ritually cast Alarm, so it'll let me know if anybody enters or leaves.
Okay. How long does it last if you cast it as a ritual this way? Go ahead and click it.
Hang on. Shit. Where'd it go?
And Norok, you do know that, by the way, that event, Falkvang, is at the beginning of winter, which would be in 1 month's time.
Right, so
Oh, wait, do you have to be there at a certain time?
So
Is there
Falkvang
like a-
specifically, or are you asking specifically about what it is, G?
Well, no, I was just going to say it's probably going to take us at least a few weeks to walk there. I mean, if not a month, right? Because, well, no, we're teleporting, aren't we?
It depends where you can teleport to, yeah.
True.
But so the if you were to try to march there, it would be a real tight fit to make it that far. Like you would need a wagon probably, and clean roads. Anyways, the Fog Fang itself, though, part of the reason you want to do that is that's when, as long as the bones are buried there, that's when the spirits get taken off where they're supposed to go. So if it doesn't happen then, he would have to wait a whole another year, basically, until Fog Fang comes back again. All right, so alarm.
8 hours.
All right, cool. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and cast it as a ritual in the keep into the door or the entryway.
Yep.
All right.
All right, Abraham, go ahead and take after our new friend here. If you want, you know which rooms we're in. See if you can find him his own room. Make yourself comfortable. If you go downstairs, we've converted a room has a couple bathtubs. You can float in the tub. I suppose that might feel more natural to you. And there's we'll be back we'll be back shortly.
Abraham looks over his shoulder and kind of nervously says, "It's the room that smells of cheese. Easy
So
to
great.
find."
Very well.
Can't wait to come back and have a bath in that cheese room. All right. So we will go to.
What's the plan? Is everybody going to Pepperjack and Ozzy?
Yeah, I was gonna go.
You're just leaving Nazim here?
Yep.
Okay. Then everybody, as you guys head out through the courtyard towards the center keep, Nazim, what are you doing here in the Kettle Keep?
Well, since I'm just kind of being left here alone, I'm going to try and extract as much information from Abraham as I can. I'm trying to look for some beehives.
I'm afraid I wouldn't know where to find such a thing, especially with the constant breeze they've got going outside. I don't really know that.
Who would know?
This is going to turn into a full-on interrogation. Maybe the quartermaster. I would try with the quartermaster. I mean, he gets the honey somewhere.
Quartermaster. Fine. It's going to float away.
Right. Are you staying in the Kettle Keep then?
Yes, just to kind of meet his wishes, because right now I'm kind of not in the good graces with him.
Okay. All right. Then you kind of floating around, exploring the place as you were, given the freedom to do so. There are a lot of. What's that?
Take a bath, eat some bread.
Okay. All right. You float down into the cellar. You see where Abraham has clearly been grabbing the bread to kind of fix these sandwiches up, grabbing a chunk of a loaf. It's actually still, it's probably only a day old, so like not, a little bit hard on the crust, but still soft enough to actually eat without having to dip it in anything. And you float towards the distinct smell of awful cheese until you find. Oh, in fact, actually, I have the cellar here. If I can load the map up for you guys, so you can see Pogo's cheese bath that he made.
It's a bath/cheese room.
Well, it was a cheese room, and then you took a vat that was used for making cheese and then used it for bathing in. Which one was it? You see it,
I
Justin?
don't know. We had this doesn't.
It's here.
quite-
I found it. Yeah, it's it. I flipped the map to
Yeah,
to
no,
show
the
proper
flipping
east and
is-
west. Yeah, it threw me off too. All right, Nazim, that's where it is. There, this little cheese room here that he took a tub into, like a big metal tub.
It's like a sauna cheese room. It's disgusting and delightful.
I would say it's a small enough room that, as soon as you start pouring some hot water into there, Abraham gathers some water for you, and you fill the vat, and enough steam is kind of filling this room that all the cheese that is still on the shelves is like sweating and making the aroma even stronger. This cheese bath. Abraham quickly leaves, not catching your eyes as he floats away. You have yourself a nice little comfortable warm bath, chewing on hard bread as you're soaking. Give me a perception check.
This is gonna be gross.
All right. You at a distance, and you're not quite sure if this was even real or if it was just noise from outside the Kettle Keep. You're vaguely sure that you hear like a stubbing of a toe kind of a sound and a frustrated curse, and then someone running for a moment, and then the sound disappears.
Okay. I'll if possible, just kind of look out the door, see if anyone was around outside.
No, it definitely sounded up above, first up, the floor above, not outside the room that you're in or anything. But it sounded at least in the floor above, and far enough away that you're not even quite certain if this was like even inside the Kettle Keep or anything of that sort. But it definitely sounded kind of vaguely familiar. The voice, you actually didn't hear it this morning, did you? I don't remember how high you rolled. I know Norak got it, and I think Arteme did, but I don't think Nazim did. Anyways, so it sounds kind of what like Norak had described this morning.
Okay. And what I'll do is, I assume I still have my clothes on and everything. I've taken a bath in this wonderful cheese sloth.
Were you taking a bath in your clothes in the cheese room?
Well, what I'll do is I'll just quickly robe up, just basic, go to the stairs, just kind of peek my head up, see if I can see anyone tapping their toes. If not, then I'm just going to come back down and continue my bath, but
okay.
Make a mental note of it.
You head up the stairs, and you can hear Abraham cooking in the other room. He's still chopping and preparing dinner, that kind of stuff. But other than that, you don't see or hear anything abnormal.
And definitely, I know that it was not Abraham that made that noise.
Did not sound like his voice.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to just take a mental note of it and continue with my bath while they're talking to everybody.
Okay. All right, then we will jump over to the war room. You guys make your way back there. You head in the front of the Crow Fort in the central keep. Make your way back to the war room. The door is only slightly ajar. It's open all the way or closed. It's a little strange. Seems that it's slightly ajar. But when you make it your way to the door there and open it, just Pepperjack is inside. Ozzy's not there. Oh, you guys managed to take a quick break, I assume? A well-earned rest?
Yeah, we ate some food. We, chit-chat a little bit about where we might be going and what we might be doing. But we figured we'd leave our new friend back at the keep for a minute while we talked about the, and I'm going to close the door once everyone gets inside and a little bit more whisper, about the situation that's at the Capitol. Maybe you can tell us what's going on without prying ears.
Sure, we can certainly talk about that, but since you managed to come without your new friend, I figured now may be a good time to ask. Ozzy filled me in on the situation. What is you're not under duress there. It seemed you were all comfortable enough. I didn't appear to, I didn't see anything, that he's holding over you or anything of that sort. But, does he know? Do you know what occurred?
I mean,
We're pretty sure we killed the Master.
Yeah, that's exactly what Ozzy said. So he doesn't know that?
Oh, he has no idea because we're very sneaky.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what is going to happen when he does know that? Because you realize the people that he
seems like he's got something a bit wrong with him. Like, I don't think he cares. I think he seems like he's just trying to figure out what to do with his own life, and it seems like looking for purpose via, strong magical powers. He saw that we were pretty strong in certain things that we did, and he seems like he's just tagging along.
Well, if he
he wanted to find the people that killed his master so he could learn from them.
We're still not going to tell him.
Is more or less what he said, because he said he sensed where the people that killed his master were. So it's not that he doesn't know; it's that we didn't say it outright, and he didn't ask.
Pepperjack's face isn't moving at all, but his eyes are kind of darting back and forth as you guys are saying this. He looks extremely suspicious. If you say so, I would have to assume little right with anyone who follows the Azul house as it is anyway. And if you, I don't know, if you trust him, I have little choice but to follow in your footsteps there. And that so far, everything you guys have done has managed to turn out, let's say, better than anyone would have expected by the numbers. So maybe this is just one more of Wilo's tricks. I don't know.
I don't want to go that far yet.
Evil.
True.
I wouldn't say that he seemed evil either, but you definitely have to be wary of anything involving chaos.
I wouldn't say that we particularly trust yet, considering he just joined.
He
found us, rather.
He seems like someone who just doesn't seem to understand where he fits in or what he has no purpose. It doesn't seem like he has much of a purpose right now. Or he's keeping it something hidden.
Well,
but
usually the Azul cults tend to follow a singular master, and if that master is removed, then they just join another one. They don't, join up with a group like you all. But, Maybe he's a unique one. I don't know. With that whole face thing he's got going on, he definitely seems different for sure.
Yeah, it's a bit obvious. He likes it though. He doesn't seem like he wants to change it. I'm still like, by the way, a foot taller and more attractive.
Oh, you're still
Yeah.
okay.
So, like,
I would say that Pepperjack is probably used to it, so he didn't bother commenting just because.
Yeah, I think I look different like every time.
Yeah.
Like I still look similar, but yeah, he seems he's a bit out of sorts. Maybe he's processing grief in a different way than we do.
You
Maybe
do
he's
realize
very
he's transitioning, right?
Yeah,
like
but
Olwen
remember
was.
He seems like he's been this way for a long time. Olwen went quick, and Olwen went when the master, or the master. Do we call it the master? Did it have
The
a
warrior.
name?
The warrior.
The warrior.
And Pepperjack, yeah, the warrior of chaos specifically, or the warrior of chaos. So remember, their titles are their rank in the high house, right? So like you would have king, queen, jack, etc. The warrior was his title. You don't know what his actual name was. He was just the warrior in the suite, I guess, of chaos.
Olwen wasn't as far in her transformation, so when he died, it stopped. So she took off because she didn't know how she'd fit in anymore.
He
that what
interrupts.
happened?
He says, "Pepperjack interrupts you. Transformation. What do you catch me up here? What are you all talking about?"
You want to go ahead?
So,
Or maybe not. All right, so
Sorry, it was Becky going ahead because I heard her and then it cut off. So remember, like what the hell are they called? I won't be able to remember them.
Illithid.
Illithid. So the Illithid spawn, I guess, tadpoles or whatever we want to call them, and they attach themselves into the brain of other species, changing them into something else. And
That's what's happening to your new friend?
Yes, but they're a lot farther into the transformation. For some species, the transformation is almost instant. For others, it takes a lot longer. It depends on the person's mind and et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I think before this, at least, he was just human, right? So do you know how long it works for a human? I've heard of these, I just don't know much about it.
Like I said, it depends per individual. If the human's mind or will is stronger, it'll take longer, et cetera, because it's...
Also, I mean, since we killed, it seems like the main, it seems like the warrior was what was the main thing controlling him. So perhaps now that the warrior's killed, the transition will be much slower.
It could be slower. Yeah, that's true. It could slow it. Because the transition for Olwen wasn't that far, it died, and she stopped transforming.
Did she really run off?
Yep,
She just jumped off into the woods? She didn't even say goodbye?
She did. Telepathically,
Did she?
to me.
Oh. Well,
She told me to say goodbye to everybody, and I did for her.
Did you?
Yes.
I remember that.
All this happened.
Thank you.
Pogo's just
Thanks
offended that
for-
she didn't say bye to him after he kept flirting with her. What are you trying to say, Becky? Becky keeps trying to talk, but she keeps getting cut out.
Bottle also turned a lot faster. He was also human, and this seems to have been going on for a long time.
Pepperjack eyes kind of widen. He says, "Oh, so what you're talking about is what happened to my squad mage?"
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I mean, even with him, didn't it take a while? I don't think that was even that quick.
It was quicker
long
than
was
this.
Oh.
A lot quicker.
How long was he in that? How long was he on that boat?
It was 2 weeks. Pepperjack
Yeah.
says very, very solemnly. He says,
Yeah, it took 2 weeks. To be fair, though, there were a lot more tadpoles. It was closer to the water. Water seems to help increase the transformation for some reason, or being around it. It could have to do with the warrior being a kind of squid creature.
Maybe
The
we
Aboleth?
shouldn't take.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't take Nazim to any water parks if we go to the capital. Keep him
Well.
away from public pools.
then with all of this, I would certainly. Well, I guess I'll say it to you this way: without your guidance for your new friend, I probably wouldn't be allowing him here in the keep. But he doesn't seem threatening. He doesn't seem evil, as you've put it. And I think maybe with some direction, we can make use of his capabilities.
He's just somewhat obsessed with the Wood Sage's course.
But I think what we'll
He
do
kinda
is we'll
grits
have a
his
bit
teeth.
of a we'll have a bit of a rule. I think what we'll do when we go back and talk to him, we'll make sure that if he's not with us, then at least one of us, then he needs to stay in the keep, mostly for his own safety. We'll just make sure he understands that. That way we can make sure he's okay. And again, if we hang out with him and if he proves himself a worthy compatriot, then no problem keeping him around. And even with our other friend, the signs were there when she was turning, so we'll at least know what to look for if he starts to move in that same direction of change, getting out of control.
She was fighting it, to be fair. He seems to be okay with it, but it doesn't seem to be changing his personality or taking over completely.
I'm generally pretty good at reading people, and I don't sense threat from him. I'm not concerned with that. He's welcome to come and go as he pleases inside the keep. Just, if he divests himself of your tutelage, let's say, and is no longer traveling with the rest of you, then we'll certainly be seeing him on his way. But apart from that, he's welcome here.
So now that we've discussed Nazim, we were hoping you could fill us in on the Clover situation in the capital. Is there something you might need of us?
As of yet, I've not come up with a plan really to continue any further with it. She, as you know, I can't. She responded finally. She was out of communication for 4 days, and when she replied, the information was cryptic and didn't sound like the Clover I've known for the last 15 years. I'm a little concerned for her safety, but with the limited communication she's given back, I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping that it has been with under duress, or that she's had little opportunity to communicate without revealing herself, something of that sort. She's my most capable lieutenant by far, so I have to assume that she's still okay.
So,
if we head towards the... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, we have stuff we have to do in the capital, so maybe if we, make ourselves known that we're there, maybe she'll come to us. Because, she knows who we
I don't
are.
know if we want to make ourselves known. I think...
You definitely do not want to make yourselves known. You're still citizens of the Empire, and your presence here has been aware enough that those civilians that we managed to evacuate... You're somewhat famous by now, and your association with the Crowblind is going to be a problem. Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing is, though, I'm sure she's disguised too. Clover must be there on more of a covert mission.
Clover, even as you've known her, is a disguise. None of you have ever met the real Clover. I'll tell you that.
So, maybe is there we have to go there anyways for a couple things, and it sounds like for the next few weeks we might be able to get a few other items scratched off our to-do lists that will, still hopefully in the long run help with this overall situation. But would you like us to check in on her, see how things are going, and do you have a way of us to do that? I'm sure she's hunkered down underground somehow.
I'll think on it, and if I can come up with a safe means of allowing you to communicate while you're there locally, if you wanted to travel that way.
Well, we have these right here. We can speak to Ozzy through these.
Yeah, of course. The thought is I need to be able to send that to her and let her find a specific location where it's safe for her to meet you.
Would I be able to use Animal Messenger for that?
The let's say identity that she's in right now, I don't know that would function. I'm not an expert in these things, to be honest. You would probably need to check with Ozzy, but generally I can tell you that her disguises are very difficult to see through.
Well,
that's the one I'm talking about.
Are you going to send a bat across the world?
That's literally what Cord Xantalus does for Sarah.
Yeah.
But I can't do it that far, but if we're already in the capital, I could send it from the capital to her.
Got it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
This one's a ritual. Do I have to have it prepared to be able to do it? Because I know some rituals I don't.
Specifically because of the book that you got. That book that you got from Carrie. I can't remember her name now. Starts with a C. The mage that you guys met on the Chain of Dogs. Mm-hmm. You can cast it as a ritual, whether it's prepared or not.
Okay, perfect. So that means I don't actually have to prepare water breathing either. Okay.
Yeah, as long as you're going to cast it as a ritual, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to add those into my spell book because I've been adding the ones I can do. So this way here I know which ones I don't have to prepare.
Don't mark them as prepared, but they're in your spellbook. Oh, you mean just jot, literally write them in the spellbook in narrative?
That's what I'm doing, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Quick heads up, Jeremy. I'm probably gonna have to cut out about.
I know. Yeah. So that's. I was trying to kind of aim in that direction. In narrative, so Pepperjack then says, "Well, I guess we're down to that then. Where are you wanting to head to? What is your plan?
It's close to the capital
I
as you
guess
can get us, I
Scotland?
suppose.
All of the
Yeah.
teleportation circles near the capital are closely monitored. They're certainly not going to be happy to see anybody associated with a Crowblinder show up.
I mean, is there a way we could show up and not look associated, or is it like they have to know who's coming first?
They see where the circle's coming from. They'll know that it came from the Crow
Oh.
Fort.
That makes
What's
sense.
the closest we can get without having trouble?
Probably Pale. She,
How far away is it?
Pale's where you're from. Pale's Eifelstead. Eifelstead is the capital of Pale.
Oh.
So Pale and Kessex and a few other were the kind of border states that the Empire annexed 50 years ago, a long time ago, or a good while ago, anyways. And they're not exactly friendly with the Empire. They are technically part of the Empire, but it's the borderlands. It's the countries that you guys are from.
Right. Well, I guess we could go visit my family and then make our way to the capital.
Oh, you have family. Is it a nice halfling village?
He grabs the map. He looking at the map. He kind of has to move away because you guys are looking at the area where right now is militarily relevant, let's say. And he moves over to the side, over to the kind of far side of the coast of the Caliadoran, and points here. This is Eifelstead here. In fact, that's where you're from, Lady Sarah. And he kind of taps on the map.
Yeah. Been kind of meaning to go visit my dad at some point.
All right. Why don't we just set up to go there? We'll do a quick check on your family, and then we can start making our way to where you need to take your test, and then hopefully we have enough time to get Norok's your family buried.
The map that I just put back up again, Eifelstead, the center piece, the map that's kind of turned to the right a little bit, and it says PA, and it's cut off, that is Pale. And Eifelstead is the center of that map. It's the big city in the middle.
Oh, cool.
Norok's people are to the southwest, where it says Antaros. And then Hyrith is in the woods between Mist and in the mountains, basically in the woods, on the way to where Mist is, up in the northwest.
Okay. So we'll go to your house. We'll go take a look at your parents, say hello. We'll go... Well, shit. You have to be. You can't do your burial ritual until a month from now, or can you do it beforehand?
For Falkvang G, it's anytime beforehand. He needs to be in the ground before Falkvang happens.
All right. So then we're gonna hustle, and we're gonna get ourselves to the burial, and we'll take care of all the rituals needed for Norok, and then we can start heading north. How does that sound to everybody?
Okay.
All right, and Nazim just seems interested in following
Great,
us.
I can-
So,
What were you saying, Becky?
I was to say I can fly for 3 hours a day, and if you guys can ride your griffins, I can carry Norok.
you can carry this big man.
Okay,
Hey,
did I
come on.
learn the griffin?
I mean, if I'm a griffin,
I don't know if a griffin can carry 500 pounds.
It's
I mean-
Artemis. It's going to take a little more time, specifically
What
because
if we-
that's
okay,
technically a larger
so-
creature than you can use. What we're going to do
Yeah.
you know what? Actually, go ahead, and I'll tell Fox about it after Just has to drop.
No, it's fine. I'm good.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say we get 2 griffins, and then we get like a wooden log that the griffins hold on to, and then Norok just holds on to the wooden log.
Hey, okay.
Or
Now
like
I
a
have to do
seat.
this, guys. I have to do
Like a
this.
chair, like a wicker chair.
You guys can complain all you want, but I have to do this because there is a certain little bit in this video that kind of resembles that.
oh no.
Go ahead and look at the video that I just put in the chat because there's a part right at the beginning where he's hanging from 2 like F-18s or some shit, and that's kind of what you're describing. They'll each carry a log, and he hangs from the bottom of it, right?
Wouldn't it be better to have like a come on, a net that he's in, so like he goes into
Like a
a
hammock.
net.
There you go.
Yes, there you go, like a hammock.
Oh, he's hanging. No, even better. Shit, I thought he was hanging from. Okay. Watch the video.
He's hanging from
Put
two eagles,
it to
guys.
20
He's
seconds.
hanging from
Go to
eagles.
20 seconds. He's literally hanging from 2 eagles.
Two
I
eagles.
thought he was hanging off the planes. It's even better that he's hanging off the eagles. I mean, the griffins are part eagle. That's perfect.
You could have just taken a picture of that and posted the picture instead of the video.
Well, but I wanted everybody to hear the song again.
Oh jeez, no thanks.
That's like the 8th time I put that fucking video in there. All right. Real quick then, for narrative reasons, then is that your guys' plan? Is that what you guys are gonna?
That is going to be our
Try to do.
plan.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably end up. Yeah. So that's going to be our plan. So we got a good general idea.
All right.
Okay,
Rest
so
for the night, not even-
So, Sarah, you can be as what, 4 hours in a beast form? 3 hours? I can have up to 5 hours because it's my druid level, like, cut in half. So I am at 5 hours.
Yeah, you guys technically, and Arteme will be able to study the form and use the shape for its functional purposes, but not for the combat purposes, I guess, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't want to. Like, I wouldn't want to fight. Like, most of my animal forms, I don't want to fight in. I just find they're fun.
Yeah, that's the reason that the limitation is supposed to be there, so that you don't have two powerful creatures while you also have the powerful spells for your kind of druid. So what we'll do is that I'll kind of scale down the stats of it for the combat portion of it, but you can still have it as far as the form for flying.
Yeah, because I have
what's that?
I have like 4 or 5 different summon animal spells. Yeah. They're all concentration, mind you, but if I take like summon bestial spirit and summon faith spirit, which I don't currently have on my list, but I could summon 2 different spirits at the time with the Wood Sage's Course, or I could do a Wrath of Nature and a spirit. So it's freaking great!
Well, even just for Sarah's polymorph, if Arteme turns into one, and then Peter, that's 3.
I gotta go. I gotta go, but I will talk to you next week.
Okay.
Yep, we'll catch up next week. Night, Justin.
Okay.
Then for at least for that though, you guys will have 3 griffins anyways.
Yeah,
that you
so
guys could potentially use.
We'll manage.
We could also do, because Pogo has his griffin, if either myself or Arteme turns, we can fly for 8 hours total. If Arteme has 5 and I have 3.
That's true. That's the spell I was talking about, the summon bestial spirit, in case anybody wants to see.
Yeah, those came with Xanathars, I think. By the way, keep in mind you guys have access to the spells from Tasha's book as well. I think I need to put them on your list. So I'll have to double check. So when you guys are picking spells, Fox, you just have all of them, so I'll put those on your sheet too. But there's the PHB, so all the spells from the PHB. Then Xanathar's Guide has spells. Technically, the Elemental Evil, those spells are there too. There's a few kind of elemental type, like druidy type spells there too. Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is what it was. That's the newest book, and then there's also the Wildmount book, Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. So there's 5 different books that have spells in it. So you guys can look at all those when you're choosing spells. Keep that in mind.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So the Druidcraft thing that'll be changed for next week.
Yeah,
I'll
put that in there.
Okay.
Yep. And in fact, let me add that to my notes here too.
And I found a spell that's a reaction, absorb elements.
Yeah, that one's. I think that's resistance to to an elemental spell type when you get hit with it or something, right?
It absorbs part of the spell.
Storing it for your next melee attack.
Yeah, for my next melee attack. So I guess if I do Shillelagh and I use a melee attack, it'll help with that.
Your whip is a melee attack too. Even though
nice.
It's a further distance, but it's still a melee attack.
Perfect. So I could use it with my whip. Yep. Okay, I'm excited now.
Cool. All right, guys. Then what's that?
Sorry, real quick. I just like to take a second to thank Ben and Jeremy for teaching the food protection spell. That seems to be extremely useful, and I have used it. It is a 100% success rate so far, and it's protected all.
Do you have proof of such?
Yeah, there it is.
What do you mean food protection? What?
Look at the Embers chat. He told me about this earlier, like a few days ago.
I'm confused.
What? Oh my god.
Is that you doing that, Taka? Is that your thumb?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
It was mine. So, yeah, it's mine.
She tried to steal his cheesecake. So
that's what you're talking. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I rolled a 20 on that.
I rolled a natural 20 on the food protection spell.
Well, I could use purified food and drink as a ritual, so yay us! We don't ever have to eat diseased food.
You don't have to worry about pissed off brothers jabbing their thumbs in sandwiches. Like, I don't know when that's gonna help you.
Right. Well, no. My brother's never done that actually.
I can't imagine many brothers have. This is something that I was 8 or something like that, maybe 10, and Ben wouldn't give me a sandwich. So
I'm 42 years old. I wish I would have known that a long time ago.
No.
My brother just took it.
No, my brother was more like into teasing than stealing food. But there's one time he kind of went too far with the teasing, and I just let a tiny house brick drop on his head because he was a complete jerk that day. Suffice to say, it was Canada Day, so I did not get to see the fireworks, and we had to rush him to the ER to get stitches. So we were there all half the night. But
Ben and I have an older brother, and he stole. I had called, when we were kids, anyways, we would call a place on the couch for, like what our favorite spot on the couch for watching TV and stuff at night. and he stole my spot after I'd already called it. It was mine, fair and square. So I smashed him over the head with this kid's toy thing. It was like a big, do you remember those bowling ball things, G, that Mom had? It was like a bowling ball thing. It had a bunch of Disney characters and shit, and I think it was Mandy's actually.
Oh,
I think when she was
Yeah.
over.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it was like a big plastic bowling ball shaped thing. It was pretty heavy, and I smashed him over the head with it for same kind of idea because he tried to steal my spot.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Well, it was a tiny house brick and it broke on his head, so it wasn't like it was old and like there was just like a small pile of them.
Yeah, that would have to be like you can cause some some actual skull damage with a brick.
Okay, to be fair, years later he did gift me a small house brick as like a Christmas gift, so
Yeah.
I still have it somewhere.
Well, he obviously forgave you then.
Yeah.
Maybe it was enough brain damage that he decided to let it go.
Oh no, he was still horrible after that. He finally grew up though. He's now less horrible, but
All right, then guys, 16th for everybody.
yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that works.
Cool. All right, then we will meet up then.
All right, see you guys later.
Everybody have a good night.
Night.
Bye.
Bye, guys.